S.V.D. on the beat. How you supposed to have light if you got solar missing? Everything seemed bright with solar vision. A whole court and a witness, nobody noticed missing. I'm my own judge, jury, and a co-defendant. It ain't an idol with a solar image. Get to the core, my nigga, no pretending. Hotter than Jamie Foxx on a solar mission. Melchizedek, no beginning nor an ending. Ain't no need to study long if you gon' study wrong. You got me chasing the ghost with no lily bones. Blew a hustle anywhere but never hustle home. Mama pray for his soul cause he ain't coming home. Watch you doctrine get demolished. Bluetooth pilots for YouTube scholars. I do for dollars, not no stupid dollars. My new provider make them hoop and holler in the lead for the light breakers. Illuminati, you ain't doing nada and blue ain't bother. Can't be rolling with you with no stupid mock and no Candace Owens. I don't do Kamala. Free flowing up this new Kabbalah. Lumen in the garden, hit a human olive. And you can get this stick with no soup and salad. Blue seat asylum on a Cuban island. My newest challenge is live a long life. Can't nobody live it for you. You gon' live your own life. Right place, wrong time. I'm in the valley where the bones dry. I prophesy to the bones rise. How you supposed to have light if you got solar missing? Everything seemed bright with solar vision. A whole court and a witness, nobody noticed missing. I'm my own judge, jury, and a co-defendant. It ain't an idol with a solar image. Get to the core, my nigga, no pretending. Hotter than Jamie Foxx on a solar mission. Melchizedek, no beginning nor an ending. Wake up, Jacob, tell him it's urgent. Identify me by the blessings, never the curses. Walk on water, but I never submerging. You a goon on Zoom, but never in person. My verses merge with the ancient letters. My rating's good, but my ranking's better. You soft as Wayne and baby's leather. If I bring my best, you can't do better. Local natives, surrounded by the foreigners. The throne of David, the crown is Moorish. I can anoint the babies and crown the poorest. I'm rolling out, I found the forest. I'm affiliated. 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 I'm affiliated with the folks. I'm affiliated with the lords. I'm affiliated with the stones. I'm affiliated with the fours. I'm affiliated with the bloods. I'm affiliated with the crips. I'm affiliated with the thugs. We affiliated with the shit. I'm affiliated. 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 I grew up in the streets and met some real niggas trying to find something to eat. And met some real bitches trying to find something to free. Got the plug on the weed, the D got the plug on the heats, the beats. Now we charging niggas for fee. We couldn't get free for nothing. Now it's nothing for free. We used to get weed for hundreds. Now we sell hundreds of weed. Used to keep heat in the house. Now we keep heat under the seat. Tripping come from under the seat. Put your bitch ass under a sheet. Bitch, I'm from the G. We moved the nap and got the plug. Now we thugging the peace. We got that bag and now we laugh when it come to the beef. These bitches used to swear to God they wouldn't fuck us for free. And now these hoes dying trying to suck us to sleep. Keep that yay outside, run around with that K outside. Back when you can play outside, my niggas will stay outside. Just know on my grave I ride. Every motherfucking day I grind. To the motherfucking day I die. Disrespect the way that I'm affiliated. 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 I'm affiliated with the folks. I'm affiliated with the lords. I'm affiliated with the stones. I'm affiliated with the fours. I'm affiliated with the bloods. I'm affiliated with the crips. I'm affiliated with the thugs. I'm affiliated with the shit. I'm affiliated. 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 Good with the Lord got initiated. Good with the game and it's syndicated. I be the king got it vindicated. I'm with the shit man, the gang gang. We on the streets on the chain gang. Bloody, we gang bang. We all is one of the same thing. Don't let this nigga go bang bang. Blaza the shimmy, the woo woo. GD the cripple, the suwu. Keitra, KK, and phone them. Willie, Lil Manny, and Bo them. Affiliated, we connected. Affiliated, we respected. Better never disrespected. Baby coming to correct it. Affiliated like Concord. Big block, be the bias, Lord. Rapified like a money bag. Almighty or a body bag. Bitch, you know we going global. Bitch, you know we ain't low. Global thugs, our color green. Anything else, voting.
Do it this way. She don't love you like the way that she says that she does. She's pretending she don't wanna mess with your love, and I want you, need you, wanna hold you, caress you. So trust me with your heart, 'cause baby my love goes on and on. On and on. She's not like me. She don't really care for your heart. She's just like the other girls that you tried, and I know you need to be loved so true. So trust me with your heart, 'cause baby my love goes on and I can love you, I can love you, I can love you better than she can. I can love you, I can love you, I can love you better than she
The man is not allowed to fly a plane in his own country, but you want to convince the world that this man is not only a threat to his neighbors, but he is a threat to the entire human family. You are a liar. Liar, and the people are intellectual cowards who sit down and suck up this filthy lie.
Man, I've been rapping for a minute, I don't see how niggas hate on me. Swab boss, the greatest motherfucker should wait on it. Even if my album drops 10 years from now, nigga, it's gonna be the hardest album out 2 years from now, nigga. The Swab boss, you niggas should see that shit. Whatever I am, in the old niggas should be that shit. Whatever they say they gon' come, I don't agree with it. Just add a couple of my old and come and be with it. Man, it's Swab boss. The reason why these niggas get hard off if 100 niggas die for this cause is a small cost. I'm trying to get my people on their feet again, nigga, but I'm back smoking weed, drinking Hennessy, nigga. And maybe that's why I'm not back on my shit. It's why I bought some 2-6 and moved out to the bricks. A couple people from Phil, now we know we shit. Now they know they should quit trying to make it hood rich. All that bullshit on your man, I wish you would sit. Niggas know when I'm about, and they wish I would flip. Niggas ask about a track, they wanna hear that shit. But when I ask to do a track, they don't hear that shit, man. And that's the type of shit that I don't say, man. Niggas know from the go that I don't play, man. Coming straight from the street, nah, I can't straight, man. They ain't fucking with him, 'cause he don't pay, man.
Why are the Europeans so insecure about other people in the world? And why do you, after everywhere you go, you're gonna kill and murder the rest of the people of the human family? Your history is written in the blood of the black, the brown, the yellow, and the red. Why are you so insecure? Do you know what brings about insecurity? What brings about insecurity is when you have a false concept of yourself. And the false concept of self is white supremacy. They believe that they are better because they are white. And as a result, see, when a man has that kind of silly mentality, Hitler had the silly mentality that the white man, the Aryan, is superior. So then at the Olympics, Jesse Owens kicks up all the Aryans. Hitler is outraged. He's angry. Yeah. Well, you need it to be simplistic. You need it to be extra simplistic.
You see, they can't even take
The reality, I know they can't handle. You know, look, when you take a brick, and you hurl the brick among a pack of dogs, only the dog who gets hit yaps. Think about it.
Man, it's the boy Swab about snapping off, man. Shout out to Bingo on the track, Z on the key on that snapping off fam. Shout out to Solar Vision, the commissioner, the Solar Vision Debate League, the only debate league, the greatest debate league, even if it wasn't the only debate league on earth. Shout out to Knowledge Born Alive, Knowledge Radio. Shout out to the AOI Gold Mine, Brandon Bay. Wow. Wicked, Radical Ground Zero, Hurricane Katrina, and I'm Pulling Pro Black. Last but not least, that is the AOI. Shout out to the King James 13 Anti-Bully Inc., a non-profit organization aimed at preventing bullying by bringing awareness to it. Shout out to the judges, the peers, and the reason why we here, the people of S.V.D.L, is y'all hit that motherfucking button. I want to give a congratulations to the winners of the trophy. So let's go. Domo with the MVP, total 979 accumulated motherfucking points, putting them first in the league, man, above everybody else, without a shadow of a doubt, and solidifying the spot as MVP. And then we got the family member, Blue, who's the rapid fire champion, man, coming in number one in the rapid fire category with 139 points, more than anybody else in the league, punking everybody. So that's what's up, man. And then I guess we can go over here to Taz Exclusives, because he won some shit too in the form of Rookie of the Year, man. Came right in that 962 total debate points, with a power ranking of 120.2, solidifying that spot for him. And then, of course, you got to say it last but not least, because he might take it personal. A9, comeback debater of the year, man, with a power ranking of 120.5 and total points of 964. Wow, that's a lot of fucking points, man. Coming in at the end of the year and solidifying itself within, I believe, the
You retired, God?
top 4.
You retired?
So that's what it is. Anonymous Hebrew, shout out to the big dog. And as y'all hear, man, we got Blue in the building on the panel, so y'all already know what that. Hold on, let me click on that. So y'all already know what that means. Shout out to Blue, power to the dark side. This is the Argument League. We are here representing for Solar Vision Debate League. It's going down tonight. What's going down tonight? What's going down tonight? Are you drunk? Are you high? Minister Howell versus Malak. That's right. The Tanks meet one nation set apart, man. In the playoffs. Is there an afterlife when you die? We will find out what happens after we die today. But it is what it is, man. Y'all be here 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Solar Vision Debate League. Make sure you subscribe to Solar Vision Debate League. Let me grab that link and put it right here. Copy. Boom. And then I guess I'll just go to the chat and put it in there. Shout out to KOT in the chat, man. Shout out to Malik Rain and Melanated Focus. I said Melanated Focus. Melanated Goddess. Motivated Focus is your sharp clothing line. Shout out to him. Malik Grain. Melanated Goddess, man, and everybody else out there that be lurking. What's good with you, Blue? How you doing, man? Sound like you just got some bad news, some unencouraging news, man. Strength to you.
Yeah, man. So, man, it was this brother out here, bro. The nigga, he reminds you of an LA nigga, man. And I should have put him on cam. But he reminds you of an LA nigga, man. Like, he be, you know, in LA, niggas be walking down the street and shit, selling shit while you driving and shit. I mean, so I'm at a red light. So he sell donuts and water and shit. He been doing this shit, bro, since I moved down here, bro. Probably like at least 10 years, though, almost 12 years. Man, he had recently a bunch of people, he ain't even started. A bunch of people, somebody put up a GoFundMe account for him, bro, to get him a truck. And that shit got flooded with money, bro. You know that man started getting threatened by the Klan and shit, my nigga?
Really?
That nigga gave the money back, bro. And he was like, I can't even get no support since I gave the money back and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's like, he retiring and shit. I'm like, what?
Damn.
Yeah, like, it was a big thing, like the Klan, but I didn't know it was, like, turning into this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's that bullshit. Yeah, they threatened that man's life, bro. That man, he didn't ask for that fucking money, bro. He didn't ask for that shit. It's just people that been seeing the nigga hustling. Everybody knew it. And everybody funded the nigga. You know what I mean? Funded the shit so he can get his truck. I think he had like 25 racks. That man gave all that money back, bro. Because of the heat. He ain't want it.
That's some whole ass shit.
Bro. Yeah, bro. I'm like, man, I can't even, you know what I'm saying? That shit make me, bro. Like, that's the type of shit right there, bro, that hurt. That shit hurt.
Talking about white people.
I ain't even gonna lie to you.
That was you talking about white people ain't the problem. It's the system. Is that the system? Or is that white people?
I mean,
yeah. That's why I say that. I understand.
But it was what's fucked up is it was mostly white people that funded that funded his GoFundMe.
And it was white people that turned around
you know
and snapped on his ass. Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Hey, he was a threat. So it's like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that shit just, and he wasn't a threat really. You know what I'm saying?
Man, that shit.
Because like at first somebody had called, bro. They called Krispy Kreme on him, bro, and tried to, and so Krispy Kreme had banned them from selling their donuts. And so we all had petitions and shit for that shit. So he ended up being able to do that shit again because it was on some bullshit. But then now, bro, you know what I mean? For this to happen to him, bro, this shit's mad. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. No. If he was in LA, you know what I'm saying, it'd be totally different. I ain't gonna never be able to go. But you know what I mean, it'd be. But you're in San Diego, but you know, man, that shit. It's a different ball game, man. I hate that shit though, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's like, damn, bro. He can't even just get it. You know what I mean? He doing his own thing. And then I could just, like I said, I could see if he started his own GoFundMe, which I couldn't even see if he did start his own GoFundMe. But, you know what I'm saying? The fact it ain't even his idea. Some random white person starts it and then he gets funded and the shit, you know what I mean? He almost lose his life over that shit, though. Like, god damn. Nigga like, man, I'm just gonna go wherever God leads, bro. I'm like, man, that's a fact. That's all you can do, bro. That's all you can do.
Yeah, that's sad, bro. That's sad, man. Motherfuckers didn't even get help. I ain't even asked for this shit. White people almost got him killed.
Hey, lying.
Both ways. Boosted him up.
That shit
crazy. Goddamn, I ain't even do nothing. Y'all just made me a target and then killed me.
Like, that's discouraging as fuck, bro.
Damn. That's crazy.
You got your food truck and shit. Niggas got to drop a bill on you. Like, man, go get you a store, bro. You know what I'm saying? Then get your life threatened behind it. Like, oh, hey, I ain't even ask for no fucking store. Hey, man. We can't just be, and that's our main issue. is that, and it's because it's profitable for people not to allow us to be ourselves. That's what's really fucked up. It's like, it's not only does it have to be an initiative to stop people from being able to just like not only capitalize on it, but screw us over in order for their bottom line. Like it's gonna be tough, bro. It's gonna be tough, and it had at least. Not only does it have to be an initiative, but it has to be like fucking like a loss, bro. Like that shit got to be a loss on the book. Otherwise, they just gonna like say, yeah, you guys, I like you guys built nice homes over here, but the city decided they want a stadium. You know what I'm saying? You only safe until the New York Knicks need a new fucking stadium. Yeah, and it's like, then what? Your shit gone, bro. Pancake. They sure ain't finna pancake they shit. You're an easy target. You don't own your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what makes us such easy target. We don't own nothing. And then we not in control of the politics in the areas that we is in. And then we not the majority. So it's like, shit. And then you got the delegate system, I mean, not the delegate system, but the electoral college system working. So that should also work against our numbers. So you talk about, like, it's got to be like, when we talk about policy, the policy is going to have to be, you taking an L, bro. If you build up something, bro, and you fuck us over, it's an automatic loss.
Well, we need to make policy amongst ourselves. Shit. Fuck trying to wait. You know, I mean, you could do both. Go to Capitol Hill, talk to whoever the fuck you want to, but let's make policy amongst ourselves. This is a policy we want white people to get up there and agree to do something. Black people finna all agree to do something. Let's do that. And then
it's not that. It's because when the reason why you want to do it like that is because when we agree to do something, we need to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And that's because it ain't that we don't be, and I think the reason why it seems like we don't be building together, because I'm kind of starting to see that as an illusion. Like, I think we do be building together. It's just the shit don't become the way that we want it to be because, they always got bigger plans and we just, they can always, like, they got shit set up to squash competition before it even begins. Mm-hmm. I remember, like, who was it that had the $5 pizza? Whoever had that $5 pizza, they lost money, bro, for years.
Little Caesars.
Selling hot pot. Yeah, they lost money for years. But they destroyed the competition.
Yeah.
I think, no, there wasn't Little Caesars. Domino's had it too.
Oh, okay.
Domino's had it too. They had like a little $5 medium because you could get like a couple of toppings or some shit. But like I was just looking at that shit destroyed. They almost like they just took a L, bro, for years. How many years you think your company can afford to take an L? It's like shit. We ain't, you know what I mean? We just ain't got it. The time afforded. You know what I mean? You like shit. Just think, you already coming in off the gate in debt.
But I guarantee
so your only move.
Domino's is Pizza Hut is Little Caesars. And Pizza Hut
all
that shit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. That's why I just think. You remember what the law is on these commercials. You ain't even allowed to put nobody in your commercial, bro, unless y'all doing business together. And think about today. McDonald's just have a Burger King, kicking the shit out of Burger King in a commercial. Burger King could be half of that, be kicking the shit out of
they got rights.
You know what I mean?
Ain't that fucked? I mean, they got rights to each other. McDonald's got rights to a Burger King logo. We can't put that shit on our shit.
Nope. Try that shit if you want to.
That's crazy.
Nigga, you can't even eat a goddamn Big Mac on lot, my nigga. You get caught. If they really, like, they can really get you like that. Like, just think, niggas used to have to blur off their hats and shit on them fucking reality shows and shit like that. Niggas couldn't even wear their fucking hat. Like, that shit is next level.
Cause that's what I be saying when I be looking on them reality shows. Everybody be having the same iPhone. It be the same iPhone.
Yeah.
Like the producer just handed to me like, here, act like you talking on this phone. I be like, what the fuck? That is not their phone. Motherfuckers be having the same motherfucking Highway, Galaxy, little Nokia and shit.
Yeah. Like, every time, bro. They be like, and they just bang. And that banging, all publicity is good publicity when you control all ends.
Hell yeah.
And that's why we be like, you know, I like when, you know, Cynthia G, a lot of her points be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, black men need to protect the image of black women. And I think the issue is that the bag is in the way of protecting anybody's image. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bag is you know what I mean? Like, I can talk all the shit I want. You know what I mean? I can show up at the set and say, hey, baby, put clothes on and walk her out of that month. It's somebody, bro, looking for the bag that's waiting to replace her. You know what I'm saying? Like, immediately. So the issue ain't gonna be like, oh, we protecting it. Like, no, bro, I can't stop nobody from chasing the bag. Period. And once we talking about images, I don't control the images on TV. Or like YouTube is the closest that we have to being able to control what we see. And you don't see that shit on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, you not seeing a nigga just doing black women like that. Even when you see the dudes with like the little joking shows, you know what I'm saying? Like, the women is just, I mean, that's the black woman body. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But like, the degrading shit, you're not seeing that shit on YouTube for niggas like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you see that shit at? And you gotta go on TV, you gotta see some corporate shit, bro, in order to see some bullshit.
Facts.
So it's like, it's like, yo, our issue, YouTube just now getting there. So it's like, over the time, you're talking about all of the networks being controlled by the same people. So I don't control nobody's image. All black people been chasing a bag. All of them. You know how many niggas before it was a sellout nigga that was up for bat? Believe me, before that nigga signed before that nigga sold us out on TV, it was 20 other niggas that had that same opportunity that probably turned it down. It was like, I'm good, I can't do it. But niggas chasing that bag. You know what I'm saying? And that shit, you know, that's where we end up at a disadvantage. As long as like that bag is gone, is you're not gonna be able to get niggas on one point because like shit, the bag is just in the way, and it's a reason. I mean, it ain't like it's dumb. It hurts it, and it's detrimental, but it's not necessarily stupid because nigga, you gotta get the bag. If you don't have the bag, you don't eat out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you stuck between a rock and a hard place. The bag or my folks. And depending on what level you selling out at, you don't know it. Like, you know what I mean? Nigga, you might just be willing to just stand in front, pointing the gun at the damn screen for a check. You know what I'm saying? But it's still it all falls in line with almost the same thing. It's like we can't get that bag out of our way. Like, man, it's like, you know, I thought I'd be like, man, we always looked at like, and I forgot who said, no, I think it was Isaiah Thomas who said this. He was like, man, we look at the niggas on the block, you know what I'm saying? The kids that want to, that go in and selling dope and shit as dumb. He was like, nah, they smart. He was like, nigga, they see that makes money, bro. That's what they, you know what I'm saying? Like visually, nigga, that's what they see that get. And so if that's what's getting it, guess what? That's what I should be doing. Niggas don't ever, like, how often do you see a doctor that get it in the block? That's not a, you know what I'm saying? If niggas see more doctors getting it, imagine if niggas, you know what I mean? Like, all your life, all you seen was doctors pulling up, nigga, on phones and shit on the block. Nigga, what you think you gonna be? A goddamn doctor. Like, goddamn, nigga pull up at the playground and drop something on y'all and shit. Pull out, yeah, where you at? Shit. I got open heart. I got a patient, man. Open heart surgery and shit. You like, what's up? And I'm motivated like shit. Just as motivated as you was to gang bang and shit.
I
You
need
gonna
to
be
give me
just as
some open
motivated.
hearts, motherfucking patients.
Yeah.
Instead of cluckers,
Hell
we need to be
yeah.
looking for patients. What the fuck?
Hey, it's on the grind. How many bodies you think I can open up a day? Straight up. Like, man, it's getting like 100,000 bodies. Like, you can't even. You know what I mean? But that's like, we be looking at ourselves like dummies. Like, it's not as genius. Though it's harmful, it's actually genius because the nigga actually is doing what he sees. That actually gets it. So, you know what I mean? And I think part of the reason why too is like when that kind of falls into the credit play, because now we fell in love with the shit that we can see, and it's the shit that's invisible that's been hurting us also. I mean, aka credit. Can't see that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't see a nigga. You know what I mean? Nigga can't just flash get credit. You know what I mean? It's like shit. That kind of put us, you know what I mean, in a hole. So it's like, we gotta figure out a way to stunt that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga pull up on the block, nigga stunting fucking credit. Nigga, put your goddamn credit score on the ride around with that shit on the hood. Nigga, 750. Nigga be like, what that is, nigga? That's what's under the hood? Nah, nigga, that's my credit score. 750. Jesus. Sleep. Look, man, I'm gonna get my baby a bottle. See what they got in it.
Getting a bottle today?
Oh, hey, baby. I might as well. Man, I got bottles at home, bro. I'm just bored. I ain't gonna lie. I see the package store right here. Yeah, that bitch open. Yeah. Yeah, I might grab me a little something. I mean, I got some Cavassier left. I think I killed all my privilege. So I'm thinking about some Crown, though, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't got no Crown.
Yeah, I got me Jose Cuervo. I'm finna make me a motherfucker margarita.
Woo! Boy, last time I was on that, bro, me and the Navy was up. I was talking loud as fuck. 5 a.m. Loud as fuck.
Well, being Katrina.
Everybody in, you know, niggas say my name 1,000 times. Woo! I was like, God damn, y'all niggas incriminated the shit out of me, goddamn. Woo! Get you one more. Get you one more, man. Goddamn, man. I told
all I know is Blue. I think all of them was named Blue.
That shit crazy, bro. Once I said Blue, bro, I'm talking about kids, bro. That's all you hear. Blue, Blue. I moved to the project, nigga. That's like the first fucking name they learned in the project. Like, goddamn. Blue. Like, yeah. I got out too fucking much.
We don't got no neighbors now. If we was in them apartments, y'all go back to last year, we was in the apartment, but now it ain't nobody to the left or the right of me, and I can scream and do it. And my dog can bark. Shit. We got no business knocking on this motherfucking dog. For real.
I got hella neighbors. I got a neighbor too. He just like, he old too. That nigga go to sleep early. But he work early. So I gotta cut it up again. I just gotta kill the kids after a while. And You know, like they do. Motherfuckers stuff all night. Like $50. I got a kitty on it.
Yeah, it be like that, boy.
But I can get it. Yeah. Damn, man, I gotta get back in my mask. I be forgetting about that shit. As soon as she seen me, she put her shit up. And go ahead and make her.
That's fucked up.
She old. Yeah. God no mask.
I could love you, baby.
Yeah. So where this mask, man, bro? Fuck it. Man, I look like one of the kids. I think that's like even worse.
What?
Just finding a mask.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Okay, it might be the worst decision ever. That would be fine. I'm talking about, man.
Motherfucking mask.
Yeah, for real.
What's up in the Fact Check TV Root Words? Shout out to you, man. Ratazala. Hey, man. Sick ass.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a new game. Nigga Bingo just got that Resident Evil 6 and shit. I mean, Village. It's called The Village. It's a new Resident Evil called The Village. Damn.
Is this all the cognac? Oh, okay. Okay, I see that right here.
Shout out to Nkosi MP. Not the Chicago, Black Power.
Man, I still want to get that damn baseball game. Man.
Which one, the show?
Yeah, I gotta get that, man. I just can't. It'd be hard for me to spend that money, even though I be knowing I want it.
You gotta get the 2019. That should be the same shit. You should be watching sports real time.
Let's see. Yeah, I got my boy. Yeah, I gotta get my boy.
That's fucked up.
My Padres, they good this year. They wasn't running last year. That's really the only reason why I'm back in it. I'm looking. It really ain't that the team just good, but it's the fact that they it's probably look good. I ain't talking. Sometimes I be on models that just look good.
And Cozy say he's still playing the show 20. He copping 21. Hey, said I know I got one of them motherfuckers. I think it's either 19 or 20. Shit, that should be just as fun to me. Hit the ball, run around the base.
They started good last year. Yeah, that ain't a bad one. You ever had the song Rano? You heard that shit?
Oh, I thought you were him for a liquor.
No, yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. Just Serrano, I ain't never heard of.
Oh, D. Serrano?
Yeah.
You got a square cap?
Oh, nah, yeah. That ain't no liquor, that's a wine.
I'm about to say, nah, I ain't never had that shit. D. Serrano.
Hold on, my wife calling. Hello?
Shout out to, I don't know why I be getting her mixed up with T. Chanel, because they ain't no shame. But yeah, man, shout out to the Solar Vision, the Pay League family. Shout out to the Argument League, man. Shout out to Judah and that server. Make sure y'all subscribe over there, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to Gold Mine Tree Tribe, Club of New Jerusalem, Pseudosciences University. Make sure you subscribe to One Nation Set Apart. Make sure you subscribe to Psychopathia. Subscribe to the Midwest Music Focus. Subscribe to Snapping Off Gaming channel. Yeah, you're trying to get it in. You got it, Margot Slade. Appreciate it. So that's not wine. That's liquor. It's like Bailey's or something. Di Serono. What is Di Serono? Google. Di Serono is a type of amaretto, an amber-colored liqueur with the characteristic almond taste, although it does not actually contain almonds. So that's cyanide. It is produced in Saronno in the Lombardy region and is sold worldwide. What the fuck is an amaretto? An amaretto is a sweet Italian liquor originated in Saronno, depending on the brand. It may be made from apricot kernels, bitter almonds, peach stones, or almonds, all of which are natural sources of benzaldehyde that provides the Told you! Didn't I tell y'all? Cyanide! I didn't say when a motherfucker get poisoned with cyanide, when they open it up, it's an almond smell. So, benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde. Let me show y'all just in case y'all think I'm bullshit. Just in case you think I'm bullshit. What did I say was in the cyanide? Nah, this got benzaldehyde. More general ingredient, spirit. Oh, it's like Grand Marnier. Oh man, you supposed to mix that shit with something or something like that. Cause I remember I thought Grand Marnier was finna be fire. It had the little wax top. You gotta break the seal. Man, I poured that shit up. Man, that shit tastes like drinking straight the mixer part of the drink. But it says it's a liquor. It's just a sweet, sweet Italian liquor. And amaretto stands for a little bitter. So it's mainly sweet. It's only a little bitter. Unlike the rest of alcohol, which is insanely bitter. You never heard of amaretto sour? It's a good drink. Yeah. Yes. Yes, I have. That's crazy. Hey, Lance, where you at, man? Hey, Lance. Henny is outdated to me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Henny is like kind of, I think I just had my limit on it. It's like salty, like E&J. Like I remember we used to drink E&J when we was younger. And then when I got of a certain age, I tasted some E&J. I'm like, man, that shit tastes salty in the bitch. So now, Hennessy tastes like that to me. Hennessy tastes salty as fuck, bro. I like to drink Gentleman's Jack. That's the liquor to get it responsible off of. What you watch, the TV?
I haven't had a Gentleman's Jack.
That's that shit, bro. That shit right there, bro. It's all on your girl.
Okay.
If you drink that, your girl is in charge of everything.
What you said today, don't drinking that?
Hey, look, you drink that.
All right, I appreciate you. You too.
I thought you had it.
I went on. I had got her some damn, some juice. I went on, got a damn a damn little Remy here, so she a little something, man. She been blowing me up. I ain't gonna tell her. You know, she probably watching the damn show. If she watching the show, she should know.
You got it, no. No, I can't give you no wrench on the YouTube streets. I gotta give you a wrench on the argument league. You get a wrench on the argument league. But I can't get no wrench on what's the name, bro? You know that.
I don't want a little while without some Remy. Yeah, I don't really like drinking regular Hennessy. I will drink Privilege. And then I was on the Remy XO for a while, but I kind of like the 1738 better.
1738.
Like the XO,
yeah, I fuck with that.
Yeah, that XO that's that 17. The XO is 1728, but it's rough, bro. That shit ain't no game. And it ain't no fun. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no fun. That 1738 though is smooth. I mean, it hit about the same, but it's just smoother than the XO.
Yeah.
So I done kind of got back on that. The Cavassier, I don't know. I ain't liking that taste no more.
When I don't feel like thinking, I just grab Martell or Cavassier. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
If I don't feel like thinking,
Cavassier is my go-to.
Give me a feel for Martell. Give me a feel for Cavassier.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I ain't had Martell. I'm scared of Martell. Even though it was on the same shelf as the what you call it, but I ain't never had it though. So I ain't even what's that Martell like?
Martell is
yeah.
It's like, to me, it's like Henny. To me, it's like a less strong. This is more smoother cognac. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, to me, right now, Hennessy got a salty taste, so it don't really got that.
Yeah.
But it's if you're tired of drinking the same shit, you go to Martell, you're gonna be satisfied. Like, damn, this is good. You know what I'm saying?
I fuck with that. Yeah. I'm gonna check out some Martell.
Yeah. I said the argument. Hold on. I thought that was the argument link up to the right.
Straight.
Oh,
ain't like the bottle though. I mean, it really just I don't know. That's always been my baby though. That champagne ain't no joke. It's just a champagne.
All my life. That's my new shit, bro. I've been drinking champagne like I've been drinking champagne this year.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
My cousin been on that Rick Ross. You been on that?
Which one is that?
I can't think of the name of that shit.
Rick Ross drink? It's a champagne.
Yeah, it's a champagne.
You know what? Yeah, I think I saw it. Champagne.
That's a champagne. I've been on that Snoop Dogg wine.
Oh, Luke Belair. Oh, that Belair.
Yeah. The Ballet.
Yeah. I just bought a bottle of it the other night. I kept the bottle up there and shit. When I do my music video, I'm gonna fill that motherfucker up with water.
I'm gonna try that.
Throw that shit.
I'm gonna try it. I've been on that damn Snoop Dogg wine. That should be it. Yeah, that's a good wine. Yeah. I fuck with the wine. I want a wine celery. That's probably gonna be my thing. Like when I get my money right. I want a wine celery for real. I want to collect wine. I like the way that.
Hey, Root Words, you can join the debate league. All you have to do is use the process of emailing Solarman at solarman123@gmail.com. If you email him, you can get in for season 4. And you can come over here and kick some motherfuckers all across the goddamn league with that information you got, bro. That's all you got to do, man. That's all you got to do. And everybody that do email Solar, just know it's the playoffs. He'll hit you back, man. He'll hit you back. Just email him and it's cool. I'm a true Caribbean girl, says Melanated Goddess. Got to get context to that because I just started talking. I'm a true Caribbean girl, true to my ancestors that were enslaved Africans. I'm about that rum life. Haitian rum, Puerto Rican rum, Jamaican rum, Grenadine rum.
Woo!
I am in. That rum ain't no joke, bro.
Woo! Hell nah. That's what I actually was going to do. That's why I went in for the Crown. Well, not Crown whiskey. I thought, but I must have been thinking about rum because I got some root beer. I was thinking about something with like a little vanilla taste to
Yeah.
I ain't been on that shit, man. I was on that with a bomb. What's that shit called? With the X. It's some rum with the X on it and the skull.
On my life. That's what the fuck I got. That's what the
Is it
fuck I
bamboo?
got. I asked the dude at the liquor store, like, man, the same day I bought that Bel Air. I was like, man, let me get some.
Yeah.
He was like, you like rum? I was like, yeah. He was like, we got this rum in, bro, and it sells out and we don't get it back. And he gave me that with the X on it. He said it's somebody's shit. I said,
See, that's what you make your daiquiris with rum. That should keep you from getting that fucking headache, and it don't taste
real?
bad. Yeah,
I sure got all tequila.
Good rum. Yeah, but tequila is good for like the margaritas, which is almost the same thing, but you know the margaritas is gonna be more salty and lime, so that settle it. You know what I mean?
I like that, man. I like that margarita taste.
Yeah.
He said that
I miss
rum
that
named
shit.
Plantation. That shit will have you gone. I bet it will.
Hell yeah, plantation. I don't want to go back that way.
Have your ass out here acting like a slave.
What you doing? Get home from around here.
Go home around here.
Go. Master say, hey, I'm trying to tell you.
I'm off that plantation. I'm off that plantation.
You just thinking cotton for nothing.
I mean, when you sober up, you going back on the plantation. You get drunk, I'm off that plantation.
That's crazy. Damn, man. I've been debating too, man. Though I don't know if I want to slap box with Taz before I send in the premise and get his, or after. That's what I've been kind of debating, though. That's what I've been kind of stuck on that. Because I think I kind of want to do some sort of a little slap box in order to kind of get a solid, you know what I'm saying, premise.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be in a premise and then we slap box and lock into some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We get the shit slapped out you and can't move. You just gotta wait till the debate over.
Like, okay, yeah, we definitely debate that.
Straight up.
Shit, I see you tomorrow, bro.
Fuck out you. Your premise is already locked. Like, oh no. Let me get that back.
Yo, Taz, get ready for the videos. Blue said,
you know.
It's funny. It's funny how Blue said. Oh shit, he running it up on that.
He looks like he was disrespectful. What? Oh shit. Let me holler at let me get my shit together. That ain't it. That is not it. Cause I'm quite sure, like I'm almost sure he, you know, for the most part, I think his argument is that you know we got enough shit here that we need to focus on dealing with each other. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a solid argument. I'm really trying to see how do I push against that. You know what I'm saying? How do I push against that exactly? That's definitely a solid point, something good to stand on. But you know what I'm saying? I think though also, you know, with the moves that we are trying to make, pulling together the moves gonna look a lot better and a lot easier with your African plug.
I ain't. At the end of the day, he said, "Fuck that." African plug,
You need that
make
plug.
everything better.
Everything.
Who you gonna plug with in the
middle? Getting the bananas from him. Imagine, bro, you getting the bananas from Ghana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit. I'm a boom. You find out, oh, nigga hit you up like, yeah, man, just shoot me. You know what I mean? A rat. I'm gonna send you the bundles of the bananas. bundles of bananas. Shoot, you talking about parking? But you know what I mean? You talking about shoot, you gonna get them way less than you gonna get from the China man. Right now, he the only plug. That's where we fuck. Like that's our first disadvantage when we come into this game. We don't have a plug. We not the plug on anything. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't even be the plug on weed, bro. Like goddamn. Yeah, I mean niggas acting like they the plug, but you're not the fucking plug, man. The plug speaks Spanish, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. That nigga speaks Spanish. They got, you know what I mean? We can boom rice, but the Chinaman gonna be the plug on the rice. He gonna be the plug on the seafood, all of that shit. So it's like, but we got like your number one fishing is out there done in Ghana and shit. Set up something where we getting off shit. We do that shit old school, nigga. You can salt pack my goddamn fish, nigga. I can get this in it to a barrel. That we in there.
Word, hit the link, man.
Yeah, man.
Hit the Zoom link. Don't be scared, my nigga. Talking about Solar Man don't like you. What you do to Solar Man, bro? And that's what I'm saying. Word, you gotta stop doing that. That's probably why he don't like your ass. Cause y'all always do that shit. hit the link right quick, man. Let's have a conversation, bro. Let's make this make sense right now today, bro. Let's make this make sense right now. Ghost Runner. I wonder is this any good? Cause I want you, need you. Hit that link, fam. Oh man, you rolled up, Blue?
I'll be right now. We're walking.
Alright.
So offensive.
Alright.
First one. Hold on, let me show you, bro.
I could love you better. I could love you better. Damn. What the fuck? Oh, you ain't gonna hit the link? God damn, that nigga ain't tell you shit in it. I don't know. Man, it is what it is. Email him, man. Solar's a new man. You might be able to join the league now, bro. He ain't gonna let nobody express that. Like, man, I wish I could join this league. He gonna like, you know what, brother? Come join the league, man. Come join the league, my Aboriginal, Indigenous American brother. You ever played the VR games yet, bro? Trying to get in, hug the fam, Abdul, Eternal.
Nah, I ain't playing no VR.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Not yet. I ain't even seen like VR at all. Like the Oculus, none of that shit. I ain't get none of that.
Bingo got one. He say that shit. It is what they say it is. Like you know all senses around you, bro. You totally in that motherfucker. Like
that's crazy.
You're not reacting to the ground around you. You reacting to the digital ground in that. Like it's hard to keep your brain registering the ground that's there and the ground that's not there and all that shit. I said, man, come on, man. I want to get one, but them bitches like $200-300 though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Cause I need like nigga 2K need to be legit. You know what I'm saying? I spend that.
Yeah.
I ain't no chance on like nigga 2K need to be it. That shit need to be nasty.
That's fucked up.
I so thought it was though, especially for like boxing. I seen they had a new boxing game to come out. Now Fight Night trying to drop. I said, man, y'all done too.
Fight Night.
Unless Fight Night could put Floyd on the cover, get Floyd on the game and on the cover, they fucked.
Hell
nah. They fucked up. I mean, all the way screwed. Now you got to bet. Now the one man you ain't want to pay, you could have been paid. You want to bag him now.
That's crazy.
You should have to bag him. Shit, man, I bought my damn wife and she's so mad about that bottle. I forgot. She got 2 big ass bottles of juice. I forgot all about that shit. Yeah, some damn Patron. Still. Yeah.
He said it's gonna be Jake Paul on the cover.
Jake Paul. You can try to sell that money, dude.
That nigga got it to the boxing game from the mud. That nigga's like, fuck it.
For real.
I ain't know who that nigga was, man. They said that nigga was the internet motherfucker.
Wow.
Motherfuckers got the game fucked up.
So what's the name? I'll still be on it and all that.
What the hell? So I got a piece of the paper, man. So my mother just cleaned up and threw that bitch way over. Out on for sale.
Yeah. Keep on, baby.
Great company over here.
I'm sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, okay.
That's a candle.
Yeah. I probably got like. Actually, I got beat. Beat. I got like probably about 4 times.
Calm down.
Then I got the one I did last time. But that shit fucked up. So I have to redo it. Yes, ma'am.
Calm down.
Okay. Calm down. Oh, he be getting violent. He said, calm down, daddy. Calm down. You gotta snap on. Don't be calming me down. You don't run me, I run you. Root word in the building when he connects his audio.
You snapped me.
I think he connected it. Peace. True words. You hear?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Salute, brother. Hope your day been going all right.
Salute to you, man. I always do, bro. I appreciate it. Okay, so now let me ask you this: what disdain does people who say their ancestors came here on boats from Africa have for the Aboriginal American or indigenous? I don't know what terminology you use, but what problem does the African have with the continental America?
They're racist on the side that atrocities happen on both sides of the field, but we're always talking about the horrible atrocities that happen in Africa coming over here, and that everybody comes from Africa when the truth is everybody don't come from there. So there should be times when we talk about the atrocities that happen in Africa plus the stuff that happened in Americas and the US.
When have we not? Like, to me, it's like because the cracker told us that all of us came from Africa. When black people say Africa, the people who know that there were people here get mad. Like they telling you, no. Nobody who fucks with Africa says there was no black people here before the slave trade. Nobody who fuck with Africa says has a slur for Native Americans, an offensive saying for Native Americans. They don't tell them to go back to America. Like, it's like y'all got a problem with Africans. Y'all have a problem with Africans because the white man told you you were an African. And then you found out or you never forgot, hey, my people was in this land before you got here, motherfucker. But you can't turn around and get mad at the African for that. That cracker told you that. The African never told you wasn't here in America. So I think that's kind of a beef that y'all be trying to hype up that's never been there. People who say they ancestors, and everybody that's black in America has both African and Native American ancestors, as well as a cracker. I'm pretty sure it's a cracker, a Native American, and an African, somewhere down your timeline from 400 years ago to today. There's no reason to cause division. We are new people created out of destruction of those people, the Native American and the African, and other people, probably. We are the results of that. So just like you can hold on to your American heritage, you could go back to your great-great-great-great-grandmother and hold on to your African heritage. We have no reason to diss either. We were made out of both. But it's like people who, and I get it because you were oppressed. Black people were told to go back to Africa. You know what I'm saying? We were allowed to look up information and find out things about Africa, but the history in America, they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about if there were empires here or, the intelligence of the people here. They just give you the modern native TP living American. And, I don't know which one you go back to, but it's room for all of that to be respected, bro. I learned about the atrocities of the Native American before I learned about the slave trade. I learned about millions of Native Americans getting killed before I ever heard of the slave trade.
Well, see, that's what I'm trying to say is we're not native, but when we heard of the natives, we heard of some Iberian motherfuckers, and then we heard of some mulattoes, but we never heard that the copper-colored people, or the people that they call black, the majority of them were the indigenous people or the Moorish Empire of America. And all throughout history, years, they always say, "Oh, the African did that." But when you say you ain't African, the Moorish Empire,
yes,
yeah, the Moorish Empire in America. The only place you could be.
But isn't that the same as the Moorish Empire in Africa?
There never was no empires in Africa for the last 400 or 500 in the west part of Africa anyway. that was a subject to somebody else.
You said there was no empires in Africa in the past 400 years on the west coast of Africa.
400 or 500 years? No, there wasn't. The East Coast Africans sold y'all.
No, but I'm saying, isn't there a Moorish empire in Africa?
No, there's a state that was made in 1956. That's a state. That's a corporation that was made in 1956.
So you don't.
Hold on. You said there was no empires on the west coast of Africa. The East African sold us.
I said there was no empires on the west coast of Africa for the last 400 to 500 years because the East Africans beat y'all up and destroyed the shit. So there's no records of no.
Are you saying for the last like 400, 500, like since we've been enslaved?
Facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, yeah, that's a true statement as far as I know it.
It just caught me. It didn't sound right.
Yeah.
But so see, that take away from the so-called worldly black culture. That like see when they talk about the African West Coast for the last 400 years, there's nothing but atrocities that go on. When they talk about East Africa, okay, there's something going on, but they forget about the Americas that had a great empire over here too, the Moorish Empire, and great history though. So when you just say black in Africa, it cramps you to a negative meaning of who you are.
But why? Because white people, like when I hear Africa, I don't hear none of that negative shit. When I relate myself to Africa, I don't see none of that the negative. I don't smell the negative shit. I don't feel a sense of inferiority or none of that. When I say the Indian, because that's the word I use. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother said they was Blackfoot Indians. So I was like, black, was it Blackfoot or Black Cherokee from Florida, something like that. So I'm like, okay, Indians, but now here, Native American, Indigenous, man, we know who the fuck we talking about. I've never been taught that white people were the indigenous of this land, or that some mixed breed of people was the indigenous people of this land. I was taught that there were dark-skinned people with different type of hairs, different type of cultures, but were one people. You know what I'm saying? It's just like niggas in Chicago. It's the same people as niggas in LA, but we wear our hair different styles, different sayings, different. You know what I'm saying? So I don't let that separate us. But I want to I be trying to get to it. What did the African do that makes the people native to this land hate them, other than what the white man said? They didn't do nothing. Like, it's just the white man told you this story. We found you swinging the trees.
White man didn't say that because I keep trying to tell you that anytime you bring up that you ain't from Africa, this what you get, this super resistance, except for you're right. Y'all American black people are super great. Y'all the ones who made like trains, planes, automobiles. We the ones who made the comb. Benjamin Banneker made Washington, D.C. When they came over here with slaves, we was like, look, we gonna
before that. I'm talking about before that. Like,
I'm talking about the story of black people as we came from a slave boat and we've been getting smacked around ever since. But when you hear of the indigenous people and the Moors, they story a little different, man. And the slaves don't like that. It ain't us. It's
hold on. Are you telling me the indigenous and the Moors ain't getting slapped around for the last 400-500 years?
We've never been smacked around. We fought the wars and lost.
Bro, you hold on.
No.
Okay, so you saying that West? Hold on. Just so we clear, you said you guys fought wars and lost. What happened in West Africa?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you is we're not.
No, hold on, bro. You said you don't know, but earlier you said they got smacked around.
That's what y'all did. Y'all got smacked around, brother, and y'all pussy, bro. Your whole bloodline is pussy, my nigga. That's what I'm saying.
I can't. So where is this bloodline of Native American warriors that's holding the fort down?
Okay, I could start in 1600s when y'all came over here. It was called the Micmac War.
The 1600s? No, today, where are the Native Americans? So y'all was holding it down to the 1600s.
We was holding it down to the last American war, which was the Spanish and the Mexican War.
And what year was that?
It was 1856 when they stopped slavery. When y'all was still getting enslaved, us over here was fighting. That's a good story. See, I'd rather tell my people we was fighters and lost except for got raped and ambushed and just a whole bunch of atrocities.
But you can't tell your story for the fact that you keep trying to diss the African. Like, you don't even got to bring the African up. You have so much hate for the African. It's like you can't even compliment yourself without comparing it to the African when nobody's even talking about the African. I'm talking about the Native Americans. What bloodline?
I'm talking about you.
Hold on. I asked you, what bloodline of warrior Native Americans held it down? You can't even answer that question. You said
I was before y'all cut me off.
No, I didn't.
I said
hold on. Don't play victim, bro. Hold on, sir. Don't play victim. We don't allow that over here.
Crazy.
Because you talk fast and you talk a lot, and then it's like as soon as somebody says something,
because I can't do it, y'all.
Hold on. It's no panic.
Y'all hate the Indians and the Moors, but y'all blame it on us.
That's a lie. You want us to hate you and we don't. If you want an enemy, the cracker is right there. If you want an enemy, the cracker right there. But it's like, hold on, Blue.
You just said some
you already said you can't handle it. Hold on. Let's try to keep it mature before we just go wild and get emotional.
I'm a mute.
Okay. So
y'all saying we hate y'all, but y'all getting emotional, not us. We warriors. We ain't the ones that.
Hold on. First of all, we consider us you. You make that separation. I was born in 1979. If you go back to my parents, there's Indians, there's Africans. Why are we separating like you blessed into some special Indian tribe and you don't got no African blood in you?
That's the problem right there. That's the problem is you keep saying I got African blood and I don't have no African blood in me.
In the past 4, so you got your generations going back 4.
Can I say something? Can I tell you why? Can I tell you why? My bloodline of indigenous people would not make with sorry people that would not fight for themselves, bro.
Hold on. No. We're not falling for the bitch shit. All that little baby throwing out there, make them stick to the information. It's like men, bro. He's doing that on purpose.
There you go, Squad.
Because that's what he want to talk about.
Right.
Make them.
No, I don't.
Hold on, Root. I got you, Root. Everybody hold your concern for defending Africans. You cannot. He can't do nothing to him. Yeah. He can't do. These are words come out of his mouth. It don't take no money out of our pocket. They pocket. It don't put your ancestors on their stomach in their grave or nothing. So let's get to the information. So I'm asking you. You got your family history going back 400 years? Or you just assume that there's no African blood because Indians wouldn't mix with Africans?
This is what I'm saying. That you don't have the right to tell me as a slave, brother, that your family and y'all's history is the weakest in the mankind to tell me that I'm African when I'm telling you I'm
not here to argue rights.
I'm not here either.
Okay, but you bringing up rights. You bringing up rights. Hold on. You're bringing up rights when I asked you about your family.
Hey, man, y'all's only in 13 colonies, brother. Y'all's only in 13 colonies.
Okay, I don't know why you can't hear the question. So you have your family lineage going back 400 years, sir? Yes or no?
I got it going back 200 years. Can you prove that you from Africa?
I don't need to. I concede to the fact.
So you gonna ask me a question that you don't gotta prove?
I'm not trying to prove it. You are.
No, I'm proving that I'm not African.
I don't care to prove either. But when you say you as a black man, and I know who black people are, when you say
I'm copper colored, bro,
I don't care.
Why do y'all
listen to the conversation. Stop just yelling out what you think is important. This is how discussions happen and information get exchanged and understandings get completed, bro. Not just by throwing out random facts. So when you as a black man, and I know who black people are, say you have no African blood in you, only way that I can legitimize that is say he must know who his family members are going back since the slave trade. If you don't,
I do.
Okay, that's not 200 years.
My family,
but that's
how
not
can
200
you tell me
years.
I don't know if you're a slave?
That's
I can take my family.
That's not 200 years. It's not 200 years. It's not 200 years.
Y'all can't turn this around and say we hate y'all.
Okay.
And then I tell you,
hold on. I don't know why you so scared of information. I don't know why you're so attracted to rhetoric. But then when you make a statement,
asked me a question, and
no. I asked you, did you have Your family history going back 400 years.
Yes.
You said no.
Yes,
I got it for
I
200.
do.
You said
Can
no.
I
I got it
explain
for
it?
200. You said you got
no,
you.
slavery
You
didn't end
said
until 1856, brother. Slavery didn't end until
I don't
1856.
care. That is not the factor that needs to be thought of here. Slaves were being brought here in the 1500s. If you don't know who the fuck your people were in the 1500s, and you're a black man in
No
America
slaves
now,
came to the United States of America in
hold
the
on, sir.
1500s.
Hold on. You got to listen to the whole statement and then reply to it. If you don't know who your people is in the 1500s, and you're a black man in 2021, you have fucking African in you, bro. You didn't keep no holy, sacred Native American bloodline pure, bro.
What I'm trying to tell you is, if I can't prove that my family ain't American in the 1500s, you can't go back and prove your family African in the 1500s.
I don't have the onus of proving nothing because I didn't make a claim. You made the claim that there's no African blood. Why are you talking about me? I said I believe the white man lie. I'm African. I'm Native American. We black.
This is why I'm not African. This is why I'm not African. Mm-hmm. Because the white man and the slave did not get to Ohio until 1820. That's because the state of Ohio was made in the 1820s, and I'm a northerner. So my family did not mess with no slaves because my family had their own situation up here. And my great-grandfather was a Civil War person, which means he did not need no slaves. And my great-grandmother was a teacher. Let me say this. We was happy with our bloodline. Why would we mate with some people that couldn't defend themselves? And we was over here fighting for hundreds of years. Let me say this real quick. People have trouble, knowing whether children are theirs. Now there are, now in this day and age, we don't know what our women or our men have done and whom they have slept with. So this gentleman is going back 200 years saying he is definitely positively sure that his great grandmama, grandpapa, whoever,
the 40 great grandmamas, 40 grandmothers, and 40 grandfathers.
None of them ever got horizontal with a man or woman unless they damn knew positively that they were from his tribe. That's impossible. That's ridiculous to say. You don't know who your great-great-grandmama smashed with. You don't know who your great-great-granddaddy smashed with. So that's you don't know neither. Exactly. That's why I don't proclaim African if you don't know, brother. No. Here's where I am with it. We say that we are African. Actually, we are a mixture, a new people. We are Indian. We are African. Bro, use common sense and logic. Use common sense and logic. We are all mixed. No, we don't have any tribes around here that are 100% anything. That's so, you and not exist.
So let me ask you this, Rue.
I just want to say 30 seconds of what he just said. He told me, I just need 30 seconds.
Go ahead,
he said, well, your family is, he said, well, you don't have no proof that your family didn't sleep with no Africans. You're correct. But he don't have no proof that my family did sleep with any Africans. So let's quit assuming that. No, you're doing a bunch of assuming, brother. I'm using just common damn sense. We know whenever people are in contact, whenever people live with your vicinity.
The thing is that both assumptions is just you have the safer assumption, Bizarre. Because it takes a very stringent, obedient as, like, come on, you cannot hold. What does your family reunions look like? You know what I'm saying? Unless you got everybody there, bro, you don't know what the fuck motherfuckers is doing. And then you're only going back to the 1800s. Nobody is African at that point. Everybody is mixed. We're talking about in the 1500s. Hold on. We're talking about in the late 1400s, mid 14, late 1400s, 1500s. Africans were brought here, and before the slave trade, Africans came here on their own and were already mixing with the Native Americans of America. So you, even though you want to disconnect yourself from the slave trade, which, okay, you're not a slave, that's fine, but you think you have to diss Africans to do that when you don't.
Africans were a very prestigious people, just like I assume you believe Americans were. So I ask you, what American empires were here? What group of Native Americans had empires here?
Okay, there's a treaty in 1572 called the Treaty of the Micmac. Then there's the Treaty of the Algonquin. Then there's the Cherokee Treaty. Then there's the Peace and Friendship Treaty #1. The Peace and Friendship Treaty #2. Then there's the Indians that's in the Constitution. Hold on, bro. I did not use. Let me answer the question.
You're not answering my question. I mean, I was patient with you. You listed like 7 people, including the Moor, Treaty of Peace and Friendship. But I'm asking you, what makes them empires? What made them empires is what I'm asking.
Because they signed treaties with other empires.
Okay. What other empires did they sign treaties with, man? Let's go through the chapters.
They signed treaties with the French Empire. They signed treaties with the Spanish Empire. When y'all was enslaved, we was fighting them people, brother.
Hold on. The French Empire and the Spanish Empire?
Yeah, and the British Empire. We fought all of them, and we signed treaties with all of them. Yes.
Okay. Let's say that's true. What makes y'all an empire? Because do you know what made the crackers an empire?
Yes, they was involved, and they had an army to defend their shit.
No, they took other people's shit.
They ain't take our shit. We fought for a long time.
No, they had empire because they had structure, right? We're talking about system, structure, organization, progression. I'm asking, what empire was in the Americas?
The Moorish Empire. The Moorish Empire that built.
And where was they located?
See, I can't even answer the 30 seconds.
And where was they located?
See, we made castles over here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
we made the
where was this located at, bro? I don't need the preaching, bro. We exchanging information, God. I accept all of that. I will accept all your information. I'm accepting all your information.
Why are y'all mad at my information but want to tell us the narrative of the slave?
No, I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you.
And then you keep cutting me off when I'm telling you. Like, look, bro, this is the empire we had over here.
Where was they located at? Where was the Moorish Empire located at in America?
Baltimore, that they said been around for 10,000 years. Okay. And we got ships over here. We have forts over here. Mm-hmm. We have buildings over here, asylums that the Europeans did not build. Okay, they were built by indigenous people.
What castle or fort was built in Baltimore?
I feel like we getting off track.
Fort Baltimore, Fort Negro.
Fort Negro in Baltimore?
Yeah, there's a fort.
So Fort Black.
Yeah, Fort Black.
Well, we know the slaves ain't built them, and we know the Europeans.
Fort Black.
No, it's called Fort Baltimore.
Have we even verified that this isn't one of those damn Mongoloid Indians?
So the Moors was speaking Spanish?
Right. But hold on. Let me impart this.
On that alone, bro.
Well, have time for Suave and Brett going back and forth for the most part. But what I'm peeping is, like, Suave always brings this up. When we come into the information that the white people could have actually been lying to us, we just try to say everything was a fucking lie. Now, as far as trying to prove our African ancestry, that's something that doesn't have to be proven. When we know that these people are some of the oldest people on the planet, that we closely resemble more than anything else. So, with that being said, as far as some people calling us African, that's a result of research and knowing the people that you're dealing with. Now, for us to turn around and come along later, well after the fact, and say, oh, I'm not an African, but the culture is obvious. And when you talk about the Moors, they were the keeper of information that came from Africa. You think a group of motherfuckers that's not from Africa is going to want to keep some information that's from another place? No. So with that being said, you can see within the group of people's culture where they come from. These people over here in America that look just like you and me, Suave, and all the brothers on the panel, they didn't just pop up out of nowhere. They're not a new people. That means they have a connection to some people. So for us to be talking about somebody was weak because they wasn't fighting, Little babies can fight. So at the end of the day, just because your ass fighting don't mean a damn thing. You lost a lot of people over this motherfucker fighting over silly shit. And here it is. All we had to do was teach motherfuckers how to get where they was trying to go in the first goddamn place.
Hey, man, what's African culture? African culture. Why don't we go back and name some American culture and African culture?
Forward of what's African culture when we sit over here and see it's in their clothing, it's in the food they eat. Nigga, like, come the fuck on. That's the problem. Hold on. The problem is you don't know enough about African culture. You don't know enough about African culture to say what's not African. That's the problem.
Having a respectful conversation, and then y'all jumping on and getting loud and mad.
But you cutting in while I'm building. So it ain't no disrespect other than you talking right now. So with that being said, again, we don't know enough about our African culture to sit over here and say what's African and what's not African as far as you speaking, sir. Because it's obvious. When you look at the culture of the people over here, man, bro, come on, bro. I'm gonna
tell you my culture, brother. I'm gonna tell you
American. No way around that shit. And I can't tell you not trying to be argumentative if you talking while I'm talking. So let's be respectful by doing that shit. Show respect. Because I sat back, I was quiet, let you talk, let you get your shit off. But now when I'm getting my shit off, apparently that rock hit you. Because again, bruh, you can't get around her. It's called Africa. You can't get around culture, where the first cultures was developed, called civilization. So when we see traces of our culture and other motherfuckers, we not gonna sit over here and say, oh, you know what? Them ain't African people. That ain't African culture that we see when people are sharing resources and building up their community. Like, that ain't African culture. But here it is, same over here propagating. The Moors told you where they got their information from. So misuse that shit.
Hey, bro, I'm a Moor, bro.
Don't have to sit over here and prove Africa when these people already did that research. But here it is, you want to come on and let it go. And that's like you got, hold on, and that's like you got all that. So you might want to check your psychology. Fuck the information. Check your psychology.
And that's what y'all do, man.
Hold on, bro. I got another brother want to get in. This ain't no back and forth.
See what I'm saying? That's what y'all do, because that's share the information. All y'all do is argue, and when a person say, what is some African culture? Y'all don't have none.
Hold on. Because we're not here to argue with you about Africans, bro.
No, hold on, bro. All y'all gonna do is kick me off, man. Y'all ain't gonna do
if we want to look, hold on, time out, everybody. Hold on. Hey, root words. Stop playing victim. It don't work over here, bro. If you want to leave,
you mean victim, man?
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what I mean.
We can have a respectful conversation,
bro. We men, bro. You gotta calm your mouth down, bro. I shouldn't have to yell.
I'm being
respectful.
Come on, bro. Africans acting like monkeys, bro. Y'all acting like Homo sapiens, bro.
You want the floor because you want the floor to do that, and I want the floor to get organization. And you think
the nigga just been there cussing me out? I wish
there you go doing it again, bro. You're taking away from the organization to do that.
Okay, point. One time I cussed him out.
I'm trying to get the structured conversation, but you can't get past. I want to argue with an African. That's not the scene over here.
I don't want to argue.
Listen. That's all you doing, bro. You saying shit that you're saying.
How you gonna keep trying to narrate this shit, bro?
Because you're saying insulting things to try to stir up a fight. That's all you want to do. We're trying to get the information.
We're trying to fight that I'm not African.
No, nobody. No, listen. God damn.
You call people monkeys, sir.
Make up right
fight. Nobody. I know.
Hey man, that's what information. Y'all talk that talk Homo sapiens. Y'all talk the evolution shit.
Okay,
you ain't heard nobody.
Good words. We didn't make a claim. We're trying to get information off the claim you made. But you want to argue with some super duper defensive hurt African, and there's none over here. Okay? So what I'm asking, so now getting back to the information. You brought up that fort. That fort was built by natives and freed slaves.
What about Fort Augustine?
Okay, no, I want to stay right here with this Fort Negro that you just named. Because
I did not say Fort Negro. I said Fort Baltimore and the free Fort Negroes, man. This is what I'm trying to say. Y'all first start getting shit.
I want to name some culture in Africa.
Hold on, listen. Root word. Listen, bro. I'm not here to argue with you about Africa, bro. I'm not here to argue. Do you get that? I'm not here to put Africa over Native Americans. Do you understand?
I'm here to put me
the
over
enemy
yours.
You're trying to make people to be ain't existing over here. You could calm down, bro. We could talk like men. We could talk like brothers. We could talk like friends and brothers instead of just saying the word brother. You could actually be one. I'm not
when
saying.
When can I talk this, Swab? You give me at least tell me my 30 seconds so I can talk without getting cut off then. How about that, brother?
Okay, stop playing victim. Okay, we're both talking. We're both hearing each other. And the reason we could prove that is because I'm responding to what you said about the Negro Fort. You called it Fort Negro. And Dazali came in and said, so Fort Black. You called it Fort Negro.
The word Negro comes from the word niggas, which is the king of Africa. It's a word for king of the land. It don't come from the word black. That's what y'all European masters told y'all. I digress.
Okay, and you wasted our fucking time. Back to the question. You called this Negro, this Fort Negro. You did that.
We were kings of the land. There was people that was kings of the land, like the emperor and niggas.
Well, can you ask them why they would name it after some African royalty if these ain't African people?
No, they're not African people because that's a Latin word from Latin
Why would you
America.
name some shit after some African royalty if they're not African people?
African royalty that took over the Latin language. That's a Latin word from Latin America.
Okay, forget the language. These were slaves. They were African slaves and Indians from America that was here. And that's my point.
If that's true, where are your forts in Africa? There ain't none. So quit saying y'all.
Hold on. Some of the oldest terminology for a warrior came from Africa. Like, what are you talking about? Like, bro, do you not know?
Why do you want to hate Africa so bad, bro?
When I ask y'all a simple question.
Like, the oldest martial arts is in Africa.
When y'all say that's like,
what the fuck is you talking about?
Okay,
I want to ask a simple question.
Listen, bro. Nobody's here to defend Africa. Stop, listen, root words. You're being insulting at this point, brother.
Hold on, man. I want to hold on.
Hold on, man. I want to keep it here, bro. It is important. It is important. We do not fall for his tricks, bro. The information, he's made a claim. We don't got to talk about no forts in Africa. I can see Africans had no forts in Africa. We had no language, no math. Hold on, man.
That's why I get it out.
Focus, bro. Because this still a black man. Niggas, how you gonna deal with the cracker?
And then you won't respectfully call me a copper color.
I didn't call you a
black man, but I'm copper, not black.
Okay, bro. Okay.
You gotta let him get it out though, root word.
None of us actually black, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah. Listen,
that's how racist y'all is. That's what it is.
Damn, why is it so hard to get to the information?
Y'all racist, bro.
Why are we talking?
Nah, root word. You gotta let Swan get it out though, root.
And then who else want to talk?
Now I'm just trying to tell the brother.
I just want to answer. Hold on, I want to answer his question. And then
he's deflecting.
Y'all run him.
He's deflecting. Why are we talking about forts in Africa when we're talking about the black people in America?
The culture.
Okay, go ahead.
In America.
Go ahead, bro.
He asked about what African culture do you see here in America?
No, I did not say that. I said name African culture. I said name something in Africa that they're doing in America.
Voodoo.
They don't practice voodoo over here.
Are you sure?
We don't practice no voodoo over here.
Yeah, you got the Gullah Geechee, bro.
Yeah, you dead on that, bro.
Yeah, you got the Gullah Geechee.
You dead on that. You dead, and it's all in the more churches. And it's in every black church. So you're dead on that.
And then aspects of Christianity have also incorporated voodoo aspects to it. There's African culture.
Is where the people
I'm going to ask y'all this then. Since I'm wrong,
where is this Moorish culture at?
And I admit that I'm wrong. Hold on.
I know you were wrong. I want to know where's the Moorish culture at.
Now, I want to ask y'all this then.
No. I know
he admitted he was wrong, bro.
No, I know he did. So now he needs to humble himself.
You need to humble your ass down.
No.
Answer your question. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Said I'm wrong. So
no, I didn't. I said I'm wrong. I said fuck it, I'm wrong.
Exactly.
He's over here. I'm wrong.
Okay, so be wrong and calm your
answer the question.
Now, no, it's time to answer you. Ask you a question.
He just answered your fucking question, bro. He just answered your question. You said, give me an African culture. He said voodoo, the Gullah Geechee. Now he's finna ask you a question.
No. He asked. I'm saying this right here. I'm saying Africa don't practice voodoo.
Okay, regardless of what you're saying, he just answered your question. No, regardless of what you're saying, he just answered your question. No, regardless of what you're saying, listen, bro, you gotta be on dope, bro. He just answered your. You didn't just ask what African culture was in.
Just kick me off here, my nigga. I want one.
No, we're not doing that. We like to have. This is a debate league. This is a debate league. You play victim all you want, bro. You shouldn't have jumped on if you ain't man enough to jump off. Nah, he just answered. He just answered.
You scared to let me ask a question because you're slaves.
He just answered your question.
Let me ask a question.
He just answered your question.
Not gonna work, bro.
He just hold on, man. Hold on. Let me help. Root word. Hey, root word. We not your girl. Hey, root word. You're a liar. You're a liar. You just asked 3 questions. You just asked 3 questions, bro. Answer a question. For once, answer a question.
Culture, bro.
Answer a question.
Voodoo, man.
So you can't answer. Okay. So you'd rather just rant and waste your fucking breath than answer the question?
Okay, I'm done. Go ahead. You're right. Okay.
Why do we keep taking all of this with your ass?
Y'all won't let me talk.
We are letting you talk. That's how you was able to ask your question. We let you talk, bro.
That's why your boy Solar the Mind scared of me.
Man, that don't got nothing to do with us. That don't got nothing to do with us, bro. Now answer the question. Go ahead. Who had a question?
So I want to know. So like I was able to show, and others was able to elaborate on. We see voodoo culture throughout Christianity, and multiple other places in Black culture, in a dance, hip hop, and other places. Can you show me this Moorish culture or this native culture exactly that you see prevalent amongst Blacks in America?
Yes, so I can see that. Wow, can I talk? Okay, I'm gonna say basketball.
That's all.
Basketball. That's only was invented in America around the American niggas.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, see, they won't let me talk. I see. Hold on, I'm gonna keep on going. Football. That's only played by the American Negro, not played by no Africans. Africans can't even play Africans can't even play basketball. Baseball, hockey. Now let me get the sports. Hold on, I'm not done yet. Can I just talk for a second? Just damn. I mean, boxing. You know, let's get the languages. Latin America is where all the languages come from because we had the cotton over here to make the hemp. And we made all the clothes because all the cotton comes from over here. When the Moors was in charge of Europe during the 700s to the 1500s, that's when all the castles was made. That's when all the big buildings was made, just like the ones over here in America. Why don't Africa got none? I digress.
Okay.
Who wants to handle that?
Can I?
But yeah, I'm a back down. I want y'all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
What's Africa culture?
Yeah, yo, peace family, and shout out to Suave Ball, shout out to the Argument League, shout out to the Subdivision Debate League. All praise to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. Hey, brother, what's your name again? Because I won't just call you anything.
Root words.
Root words. Peace out. I just wanted. First of all, I want to say this to the panel. Like, I think Suave was on it with his initial question, like which the brother never answered. Right? Like we gotta allow conversations to develop because what the brother attempted to try to do was give us this paradigm, and I still, you know what I'm saying, and I still want to hear what his paradigm is, right? So, before we get him that good handle session like we used to doing over here. See, we used to the Argument League, so we got that type of skin, right? So a lot of people, when they come over here, they think it's personal. You know what I'm saying? But we just got that type of skin over here. Like, it ain't personal. It's about information, and it's about it's about business. So I think that I would really like to hear this brother's full paradigm, because I heard him say a couple of things. First of all, and I don't want to misquote the brother, and so please correct me, brother, if I'm wrong, if I misquote you. That he said that he was not African. He didn't have any African ancestry. He said that he's able to show how that his uh, culture and ancestors were above ours if we're claiming to be African, and that also that that them being Native Americans is not just solely based on the white man's narrative of what a Native American is versus an African is, and he wanted to explain that. But I also wanted to say also that I think, like, we got to get back to Suave's original question, because that's the question that opens up everything, right? Like, like, I want to hear his paradigm, because I want to see where he actually makes the disconnection from Africa, right? Because I want to get to the question, if even if you're saying your people are indigenous to this land, are you saying this is where humans originated from? This is where Native Americans originated. They originated from this land first. If not, then you must explain to us how your ancestors got to Turtle Island or got to the Americas. Where did they come from? When they crossed that land bridge to come here? And I think that's what Suave was getting to when you say, if you can't go back to the if you're not going back to the 1400s, you gotta at least show us where your people originated from, if it was not from Africa. Like most consensus of scholars tell us that all humans originated from the continent of Africa. So how are you making that disconnect and standing and saying your people stands alone from everyone else known to mankind who originated from Africa? So, but I do want to hear your paradigm, though, brother. I really want to hear your paradigm. So, can you just go into that for us, please? At least for me, because I do want to hear what you have to say.
Because if you hear the Christopher Columbus story, Christopher Columbus came over here, and the first people we seen was some copper-colored people with gold around their necks. So that's putting a distance from, you know what I'm saying? And then the Christopher Columbus story said that there were some beautiful people from Africa that was about to go through some atrocities. And he said, well, he came over here and seen some beautiful people that looked like them that was going through some atrocities, but he was looking for another land that's called India that got some other melanated people that is going through some atrocities right now and stuff. So I'm just trying to say that right there from the 1400s, I'm showing that there was different melanated people around the globe.
Okay. And so when since you use Christopher Columbus as your starting point, we know that before Christopher Columbus, they were already taking slaves from the west coast of Africa before Christopher Columbus. But we know that, as you said, and I agree, Christopher Columbus did think he was trying to reach India, or really he was trying to reach the Hindu Kush Valley, right? Which was he was still looking for dark melanated people. More importantly, he was looking for the lost tribes of Israel, which he believed, and I believe Madan brought this out in his debate with Anonymous about the melanated people that washed up on Moorish shores or the Sephardic shores in Spain, and they were looking for these people, where they came from, and this and that. So we know Christopher Columbus was looking for India. You're correct on that as far as history goes. We do know Christopher Columbus in his cell logs did say that they encountered dark melanated people in the Americas when he arrived here. We do know there's some Ethiopian connection to the Native American to the indigenous Native Americans of this land.
And we know the richest man in the world at that time, back in the days, Mansa Musa, and his brother came over here. Well, see, I'm not trying to separate them.
Yeah.
See, so don't think I'm trying to separate us. I'm just proud of my heritage as a worldly melanated people, as a worldly Moorish people. I'm just happy of my American heritage. I would never take away from the great things of Africa until, how niggas get, no disrespect. People will start going back and forth with each other, but they're misinterpreting me. I'm just saying that I'm proud of my history over here. That's all.
Yeah, I hear you. It just sounds a little off-putting, when you refer to us as monkeys. And didn't
that's the story that's said to us. And I was just throwing shots because my dude was saying we live in TPs.
Okay, just throwing shots.
Living in TP. So I said, okay, well, they threw evolution at y'all, so I'm going to just throw that little shot.
Okay. Now, can you...
I want to disconnect from my African brothers, but I'm just proud of my history over here. That's all.
Got you. So can you do me a solid real quick? Because I think we got away from Swab's original question. And I think that was a very strong question that he asked you. Swab, can you give him that question one more time? And brother, can you answer that for us? Because I think that's important to this conversation, because that's a question that I've always thought about, but I never asked anybody, that follows the Aboriginal belief, I should say, or whatever you guys' term is. Like, Swab, can you hit him with that question again, bro?
The Empire question or the 1400?
The Empire question.
Okay, yeah.
The Empire question.
And I wasn't taking a shot, brother. It's just the ignorance of what I was taught. If it's wrong, but like I said, I had my grandmother's father wore Indian garb. He didn't wear suits and ties. You know what I'm saying? So all I knew of was the teepees, which it's not an insult. So I'm asking you, what empires were here? You named some names, but what makes them an empire? I want to know what empires was here, because you was talking about castles and forts and stuff like that. But then you gave me one that was built in the 1800s by British people that were given to slaves and Native Americans as a mixed group, and then they were attacked. I'm talking about 1400, 1300, 1200. When we're looking at the Songhai Empire, the Mali Empire, and they're empires because they have structures, cities, streets. You know what I'm saying? What empires were in the Americas?
To me, what considered empire is people that know how to send a delegate to another land, or send somebody out there and say, hey, we're going to talk this treaty up, and we're about to go to war. They can send a delegate out there or a merchant ship and say, we got these goods and we're going to do that. So starting from the 1600s, Europeans will say, I'm saying from the 1600s, they've been saying that these people in Americas, my indigenous family, have been signing contracts and been going to war with the Europeans, Frenchmen, French and Indian contracts, the English and Indian war contracts, the Spanish Indian war contracts. And then when they signed treaties in America, the first constitution in the 13 colonies, not the whole land, the 13 colonies, they made sure that we was in there. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I just don't think all of our history is negative.
It's not even the slave trade. I mean, I understand what people are saying, and that's why they did that. They showed you the African that looked lowly and broke, and flies in his eyes, and said, "This is you." And we said, "Hell no!" You know what I'm saying? But that don't represent Africa. You can't let the white man's definition of something give you a discouraging, heart for those people. They're playing both of us. And like you said, and I agree with you, we were a global people. I'm not a Moor, and I don't get into that, or Mer, but I believe we were a global people who had trade and had culture, who had sciences.
And had negative people on both sides, and had negative people that would take people across the sea to protect their own son.
I can see that, but then when you're saying, and I want to get back to the question, but when you're saying, well, you're respecting and you don't got a problem with the people you got a treaty with, but you got to remember, only reason you got a treaty with them is because they was kicking your ass, and you kicked ass back, and y'all signed a treaty. But there were a group of peaceful people who never tried to intrude on you, that you never had to form a treaty with. But yet you don't have respect for them because they got into it and conquered by the same people that you got a treaty with. Like, do you see how that look? They conquered Africans. They came over here, tried to conquer you. Y'all kicked ass, signed the treaty with them, and now you with them mad at Africans, and Africans never came over here and tried to fight you.
See, I don't get mad at Africans. I get mad at the story. See, I think that when we was fighting over here, like what Dan Calloway is doing, I think that's kind of belittling the courageousness and the people that went through the atrocities from Africa. I think Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman was people that joined the fight with thousands of other slaves. So see what I'm saying? I just don't want to tell the story of just the slavery. That's all.
Yeah,
and there's
today,
proof.
right
There's,
now,
one second, 30 seconds.
My
There's proof on proof on proof on proof that there was people over here, especially when I go through genealogy, that it just looks like we wasn't a part of that fully as the people that came from Africa. That's all. So don't think I'm going against Africa when I'm humble. You know what I'm saying?
We're all ignorant, bro. I know what's going on. You know, I sit on these panels. I've been doing this
back in the day.
I've been doing this for 3 years, bro. You know what I'm saying? I watch.
Back in the day, Mansa Musa, they'll tell the story of Mansa Musa. He used to go around the world as a global man. So if he had a strong empire, there was other empires that was going around here.
This. With your Indian family members, I don't know if I'm. What word did you use?
I understand what you're saying, though. I understand what you're saying.
Okay, but if your Indian family members mixed with Mansa Musa,
any merchant man or anybody could have sex with anybody if they win some women's. That's like today.
So
if I went to Africa, of course I could have sex with an African woman. If I'm African over here, of course.
So could you be pre-slavery African and Native American?
When y'all asked me that question, I said, I don't know if you said, when you asked me earlier, you said, well, you can't prove that you ain't African. I said, y'all can't prove that I am, so let's just quit assuming. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna leave it out, but I'm just proud of what I can prove. That's all, brother.
We're not trying to take away any pride you got. It just seemed like to come at the expense of the African. Like, I'm only good because they're horrible, and I have to keep them horrible to show that I'm good, because at the end of the day, we all ain't shit to the white man, but at least I got a treaty with him. You know what I'm saying? And that shit sound like some sucker ass sellout shit. Like, well, you need to go kick it with some crackers, because ain't no black people gonna accept that. Even if I felt like I didn't have no connection to Africa, like, no, I know what my people was in 1400s. We were the Native Americans that went up into Canada and didn't come back down until slavery was abolished. If motherfuckers had that type of story, I could see it. But motherfuckers like, in 18, it's over with. In 1800, it's over with. It is over with. You're talking about 1400, 1500, 1600, 17. You're talking about the implementation of the Bible, Christianity, states, and then you coming up at 1800 talking about some we pure. No, you're not.
Yeah. And if it make you feel better, brother, I don't think that a lot of these Africans now who think that they are pure blood realize that they're also not pure blood, you know. And so that weighs more to what is being said, you know. That you can't claim to be pure blood in the damn 21st century. Some of these African nations talking about that, you know, they damn pure. No, you're not pure. You mixed, you know, 200-300 years ago too. You know, so that's just human nature.
Well, mixed with. Hey, what's going on, Moore? Yeah. I ain't trying to take over your panel, Swab.
Appreciate you, Moore. No, Moore in the building, Luke out in the building. Blue got the Remy. It's going down tonight, man. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Minister Howell of the Tanks is facing against the Argument League's nephew, Malak of One Nation Set Apart, man. That's right. The post-mortem debate is their afterlife when you die. Okay, let me say this, and then we could go to Moore and Yehukanan, whoever the fuck else has something to say. When I look at it, I'm not too different in color than you, if that's what you're going off of.
I speak the same language as you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my parents look like yours, my kids look like yours. I don't put any type of supremacy when it comes to Africa and Native Americans. I see them as one people. That before books, before patents, before publishings, knew that they were the same people. I don't see as everybody being born originated in Africa. I don't think we know where man originated at. But I do believe that we all went into Africa to avoid a devastation to the globe. And then that's where they start the clock. When we start coming back, repopulating these areas that we once abandoned. And that's why you see, it seemed like they hide in history. Like, hold on. If we just made it to America, why is there buildings and structures and mounds and shit here? So, yes, it's a lie. The slave trade, the numbers were dramatically exaggerated. They tried to tell.
Let me ask y'all a quick question.
All right, hold on 1 second. They tried to tell the Indians that they couldn't kill that they came from Africa on boats, and so I see the clear problem when people who hold on to the Native American traditions, you know what I'm saying, kind of be like, fuck that African shit, because they shove it down our throat, make sure we know it, and all of this, and they can't talk about my, you know, this and all, but you can't let that shit divide us, bro. Go ahead, you hooking on more.
Yeah, let me say this real quick. Now, when you think, I just want to ask y'all real quick before y'all ride on more. Go ahead. When you think of names like, when you think of people like Chuck Berry, Lil Walter, Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, a lot of people will say these are Negroes. But when you go back in history, all these brothers said they was Indians. But go ahead. I just want to put that out there.
But like Swab said, though, during the atrocities, those, however it happened, like some slaves that did have to intermix, though. It had to happen like that, though. You know what I'm saying? That's just like if I went to Africa to work, of course I'm gonna try to holler at a girl, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just so. I'm not saying that people didn't intermix. It's hard to say that everybody intermixed. That's all, brother.
Well, that's cool. More, you hoop, PCR.
Yes, sir. Peace to the panel, peace to the chat. My apologies, you looking at all you a phone call, brother man. But to the brother, new channel, Root Words One. My name is Tavon Sueno, aka the Orthodox Moor.
Islam, brother. I'll be seeing you, man. You done taught me a couple things, man.
No, it's not. That's what's up.
I'm not simple, but it's all still, it's all in the paradigm. It's all
cool. Okay, you already knew what it was. Okay, I was trying to figure out which paradigm you rock with. Are you an MUUR? You say you're not a Temple Moor. Do you do with the sovereign stuff? Like where do you get
that? Root, you there?
My fault. My phone rang. You know how when your phone rang.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so are you? So you said you're not a Temple Moor. Do you classify as like an MUUR? Do you deal with the sovereign stuff? Like how do you get down?
I just know I'm happy to learn new history, and I'm trying to get into my nationality. On like I listen to Taj Tariq and different culture, yeah. But I still honor and respect what the temple has did for us.
Okay. Cool. I was trying to understand, like, so what native people do you connect to, and how do you connect to being Moorish? Just so I'm clear.
Taj Tariq told me who was an empire over here. Then when I looked through genealogy, I see the name Moor, Mur. Like my great grandmother was named Moor. It's crazy. My great grandmother name was Moor, and I'm Murphy. I got Murrays in my family. It's a sick coincidence. You feel what I'm saying? My genealogy take me to this land, and it's saying it's Moor.
Mm-hmm.
So when I learned that, and then I got into the Moorish science, I just made the Moors more strong, if that's the right way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying that what the great Moors have taught me wasn't great, but I'm just like, I had to qualify the bloodline lineage over here. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, we all just students anyway. You know what it is. So, how long do you feel like your people have been here in the Americas?
I don't think my people has ever left here. I think that's the way I put the like. I don't think my people ever left here.
So how old do you think your people are? Just out of curiosity.
I just don't think that. Where I get my like my grandmother from Newark, Ohio, which make her Queen Hebrew. But anyway, my great grandma from Middletown, and then they talk about somebody that was before her from Detroit. So that take us to the late 17, early 1800s and stuff like that, though. So you know what I'm saying? That's just where I can go with it at.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You know, I ain't gonna bring up nothing on my studies or what I studied and believed in. I'm just gonna go back to right there. That's where my family indigenous to.
Are you familiar with DNA and genetics and whatnot?
Yeah. And I had a friend.
Okay.
You had a friend? You lost him?
Yeah. That's I'm glad you caught that. Yeah, we lost him.
You got his ass out of here because he was African.
Oh no, nothing like that, brother. He showed me where they took a dog sample, a dog test, and put it in there, and said the dog from Asia and Europe and Africa.
So you don't put too much trust in the DNA test.
No,
okay, let me ask you this question. Like, so do you feel like the people you come from are the same genetic stock as Africa, or do you feel like they're just a different evolution of
that's where more science get me out of this. That's where more science get me out of this. We all worldly people, and we all come from our mothers and fathers. So when a person starts the division, I could go ahead and throw gasoline on the division, but me being the more, we all want people. That's why I try to say, look, I'm not the type to really cause division.
Hey man, let's not act like Malak just didn't walk in the room, man. Shout out to Malak. It's going down today.
In the building.
The green screen, he ready. Look at her. Oh yeah,
I forgot it was his day.
Kind of
go off like whoa.
Facts. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, man. On Solar Vision Debate League. Make sure y'all hit that.
Look at Malak. Malak, keep getting in, bro. You Native American.
Hell no. Okay. Go ahead, Mort and Ruward.
I'm gonna have to ask Dr. Malak a few questions.
Hell no.
I ain't never native.
Malak, respond right.
I ain't native, man. Fuck it. That's all my response is.
How you know you're not native, man? How you not know you're not like an ancient Hebrew tribe, ancient Hebrew native tribe, bro?
How do you know that you're not Chinese? Stupid.
Technically, I am like 0.6% Chinese, you know.
Chinese ass nigga. I know Chinese nigga. What you talking about?
You kind of do look Asian, though, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You get that kind of droopy Asian look.
Nigga, stop playing, nigga.
My God.
Look at the whiskers.
Hey, yo.
I had to come on me for that, with the Moabite.
Nigga, my motherfucking kids ain't named Ching Ching and Kling Klang. What are you talking about? Yin Gang.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, so brother man, like, so when you say more, are like a lot of people use that term differently. So are you just using that for like every melanated person on the planet, or like how do you define that term?
I don't use it like that, but that whoever came up with that, that's a beautiful way to put it. That we was all one worldly people.
So how do you define it? Just so I'm clear.
The bloodline that you know what I'm saying, from that's all throughout the Americas and like the 1776, the 1740 some peace treaty in United States of America, and then the 1720 some treaty that was in Canada, then the 1492 Moors, that was, when you look up it says the Moros, that was in the Pacific Islands, and then the Conde Moors that was in Germany, then the Spanish Moors, the Andalusia, then you know what I'm saying, they just was everywhere. So you know, I'm just like, it's just so much history on the Moors. It's a beautiful history for the melanated people.
Okay, two quick clarification questions. I'm gonna pass the mic right quick. So when you say that the bloodline that was all throughout the Americas, does that include the Native Americans that like supposedly came over from the across the Bering Straits or whatnot, like the straight-haired Native Americans or whatnot?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't call myself Native. That's a different story. Different people keep pushing that on me, so I.
Okay, no worries. And so when you were saying like it was connected to like the Moors that was in Al-Andalus and all that type of stuff, are you saying that you're also genetically connected? Like, so your people from here are also genetically connected to the Moors that were in Spain?
The way when I read it in like Latin and Spanish and everything, I can't talk it real good, but I can Indiana Jones a couple different languages. It looked like today, like the military of America like went around the world and got you know what I'm saying, when they got like their posts everywhere. I think that's how it was back. I say the capital was
dancing around stuff.
No, I'm saying that when they say that the Moors were in Europe, or when they say the Moors was in Europe, and then they say the Moors was in the Pacific Ocean too, and the Moors was in the beautiful lands of Africa, and the Moors was in the lands of Arabia. That's what the America is doing today. They're everywhere.
So you're saying that like the America was the central point, but like they had their outposts everywhere else, like Al-Andalus, Africa, Indonesia, whatever, India, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that what you just said, or where was home base for the Moors?
That's my opinion of it. It was in America, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna tap out and let the rest of the panel get that one.
Okay. If I may, there was something that wasn't quite clarified, or at least clarified that I heard it. So, are you basically standing on that people did not come out of Africa? There were people that just, spontaneously appeared in, South America, North America, Asia, etc. So there are people who have no ties to continental Africa. Is that what you stand on? Is that what you're leaning toward?
From the beginning, yes. But I think that Africa and America, like everybody been saying, always been connecting with each other. I just don't know which one's started first. I think all these lands been worldly, if that's the right word, until the European came in charge.
All right. Thank you. I didn't quite get that. Let me add. Let me clarify. Are you saying that you do not ride with the out of Africa theory that Homo sapien exited Africa and went eastern and western and populated other places? You are also suggesting that the Homo genus evolved into Homo sapien also in North and South America, Australia, etc. That they did not all come out of Africa.
I just don't think that my ancient ancestors. I just don't know. I don't understand the. Let me make sure I say this right scientifically. No, I just don't think that people evolved from monkeys because the monkeys are still here and they haven't evolved. All of them haven't evolved yet. So what would have made them stop? But I don't know if people came from Africa first or America first. I would stay out of that part right there. I would stay out of it.
Okay, and just to clarify, I do not go with the evolution theory either of where people come from monkeys. And just to clarify for the scientific people, that's not actually what the science community teaches. We say that, in our use of jargon and our attempt to shorten it, but that's not even what that theory says. It never says that Homo sapiens come from a monkey. But all right, I do appreciate you answering those questions. I did have something else that I wanted to ask you. If no one else is going to jump in real quick, I'm going to make it real fast. And it deals with the temperature that we had on this stream, whereas at one time it got kind of heated and got kind of conflicted. And what I want to ask you is, do you see whereas it was easier for the European, for the Caucasoid to conquer us because we have this tribal thing going on and we're easily divided, whereas if we were more willing to link and see the common aspects that we have in each other, then we could, fight our oppressor better. That's just something that I took away from. So it's really not a question. I shouldn't put it as a question, but we were in here throwing stones at each other, man. And I'm not African, I'm not Indian, and it's things like that. Oh, and the last thing, you do realize that Africa had been under attack since BC. So even when Africa was made into slave, they had been under attack, what, 2,000, 2,500 years before they had finally, succumbed, and some people were taken away into slavery. So they had been fighting a battle for like 2,500 years.
They still fighting. Shit. That same war still going on right now to today, bro. It's people over there fighting with the fucking colonizers, bro. Diplomatically and off the fucking grid. Like, that's the same shit. The shit that you see these Africans over here, it's the same war going on, bro. An uninterrupted war on Africa. So, but you still, like I said, you still see empires in Africa in the 1300s, 1400s. You still see people, you know what I'm saying? So, you can't you got to disconnect yourself from that story, bro. Because you ain't had shit to do with this. You was born whenever the fuck your parents, just like mine, met each other and kissed. That don't make you some representative for some ancient people here now to divide black people by this history. We got to get in the fucking now. This shit is nice to know, good to build on, provide some nice traditions, sense of pride. But then you wake the fuck up just like I wake the fuck up. And I guess that make you feel better. But, I mean, I'm not one of them people that like to feel. I like to know. I want to know what's wrong with my car when it breaks. I want to know how much it costs. And then I'm going to try to see if I can fix it myself, go get the parts. I'm cool on that feeling shit, bro. We've been feeling good. We been scream everything in every language. We already in Arabia. I'm from Gary motherfucking Indiana. We done went through every motherfucking language. We talking Arabic now. I'm like, what the fuck? And ain't none of this shit happening. We ain't use none of this shit to constitute shit, to build shit, to unify shit. We do it out of need, the oppression. Because as soon as we get a little bit of wiggle room, we get comfortable and we forget who the enemy is. I can now get a job, I'm cool. I can now vote, I'm cool. I can now go to school, I'm cool. I can now, every generation. Like, nobody keeps it on the focus that was here in the first place. Leave me alone. Get your hands off of me. Get your hands off of me. That's it. I don't want a gateway into your institutions. I don't want a hand-me-down, trickle effect kind of. I want to be able to define myself for me. Somewhere where I can do that. I don't want to have to sit up here and constitute myself about your government. I want to be able to say, damn. But then there's people that come along and try to undermine that shit. I mean, it's important to know the history, man. I love history. I love history. I want to hear what you got to say. I don't give a fuck. If motherfuckers be anti-African, I'll be sitting right through that shit. I want to hear the information. I want to learn something. That's why I be getting frustrated with Lance, because it never get to the point where it's like, well, let me research that. I'm pretty sure somebody did a lecture on this. I'm pretty sure it's a book on this or something like that. Like, I can find all that shit you talking about, and if it's a lie, we gonna beat you up in the debate. If it's a lie, we gonna beat you right the fuck up, and you gonna correct your doctrine. That's how I go, bro. Motherfuckers gonna be right in this bitch. When we shoving these sources down your fucking throat, and you sit up and talk about some how you feel. I'm copper color. You don't give a fuck. It's a debate league, bro. We hungry for that information.
Yeah. Facts. Right. We gotta realize, like, that's the currency over here, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's how you pay your way over here. Like,
you gotta have that info.
Yeah, like I don't even like you said, like with Lance, bro, it don't even be the fact of what he's of what he be reading. You know what I'm saying? Because all of it ain't a lie what he be reading. But it's the fact that, like you said, he not researching it. You know what I'm saying? He just read, and I think he take, you know, and he take it personal because I make it personal on purpose. But I be like, bro, like it ain't because I've read I've read some of that stuff before, and some of it I agree with, but some of it, bro, like bro, you ain't think, you know, didn't no flags go off, bro, like when you was reading that to say, okay, let me stop and see what somebody else said about it. I just can't, you know, you just want to dismiss the whole truth of it. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I know that it's the truth and the lie and everything. And that's why I don't like the lie shit, because I don't see people say a necessary lie. And I understand that, but it's sentimental. It's sentimental. Literally, it would put you in a better position. It'll make you cry, but it'll put money in your pocket. And the motherfucker rather stay broke and feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. We got to get the truth. We got to get the truth. That's the only way we can buck and build, man. All of this, but like, yeah. So in the literature, man, the truth, I can see truth, and I don't have to question if there's some truth in the shit. Says Earth, so I'm pretty sure something lines up. You know what I'm saying? Something lines up, but he just a liar with the information. Like the information already cloudy. Then you got a clear agenda.
Right, that's the irritating part. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Like, and to be honest with him, bro, the 9,000 pictures, I don't mind because it should be entertaining.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Fire,
it be entertaining, but I don't be, you know what I'm saying? But don't be like, yeah, I know that's true. Well, how you know that? Because I see it. No, nigga, you can't do that.
Y'all niggas, and then that's when he fucked up when he started speaking on us. No. Because we not speaking on you, really. We just said, that's crazy. This and then you start talking about what we, and if y'all think y'all stay dumb, and then I'm like, bro, I'm not finna let no retarded nigga call me stupid, bro. And this nigga talk about giants build this goddamn building. Well, what's the giant? 20 feet.
Right, bro.
20 feet, bro.
Hey, come on, bro. We can't do that, bro. Like what would we be to that? We'd be like, okay.
I'm looking at these old disformed ass giants. These niggas ain't building shit. Taller they get, the more handicapped they is. The one motherfucker had him in the movie, they was propping his ass up for the scenes and shit.
Right.
This nigga ain't throwing no
an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, dog.
Yeah, bro. Like imagine Andre the Giant, bro, trying to carry a ton of bricks every day. Like, they're not gonna survive, dog. Like, they can barely bend over and tie their shoes.
What it is Lance is missing some key information that would clarify some of the points that he's trying to damn stand on. You know, just like Yara say, not everything that he says is a lie. It's like he's not digging deep enough. He's going to have to go into another area and then connect those two bits of information, and then he would be able to tell y'all what y'all want to hear from him. I was gonna tell him that, but Lance is so sure of himself and cocky with it.
No, he's not sure and cocky. He's committed to the lie. That's what he is. Yeah. He's committed to the lie. He already know. He's looking at other people do it because other people do it. And we believe it's some people that's really lying, and we really believe they have because we ain't got a chance to question them or see them behind the scenes. But there's a lot of. But he's seen behind the goddamn curtain, and he could do this on a small scale. Fuck it. Fuck it. And he gonna stand there and lie. That nigga said, he said that city was, that was a Roman picture. And I called him just like, I went back and found that shit, bro. I went back and found that shit. I said, that nigga.
What was it?
But John said, yeah, man, where that picture at? He said, Germany. I said, now tell him how you found out that was in Germany. Because you told me it was in Rome, and I researched it and I corrected you. He's like, no, I said that was a Roman picture. A Roman picture from what? A Roman camera? The nigga that took the picture, my nigga. Like, this nigga dumb as fuck, bro. Like, that's the line shit that I can't stand.
Yeah, committed to the lie.
Yeah, you making me dumb. Because I'm thinking we going somewhere, but you putting in misinformation. And I'm really giving it validity and not questioning it, and I'm moving on to the next step, and now I'm lining up shit that ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, yeah, damn, dog, Giants, my nigga. Like, no.
Right. But you are probably going to have to subscribe to his channel to get the full information. He just opened up a channel. 6 times yesterday, bro. Pseudo University.
No, I think I fuck with that nigga Desala. He can at least promote your shit, even if you don't necessarily.
I want to see everybody win, man.
Right, that's how I go. I want for my brothers and my sisters what I want for myself.
That information and take it back home. They gonna get
tell on y'all ass, nigga. Ready to tell right now.
Right. That nigga can't help but tell, man. Shout out to my
ready to tell right now.
He said your name at the 17 mark. Then they said your name at the end of the show.
We need Lance. We need people like Lance. He gonna undermine. Undermine everything.
No, we don't need nobody.
His information gonna undermine the white man.
Everybody can be useful, bro. If you don't have an agenda,
you undermine everything but the white man.
If you don't have an agenda, everything is useful. You just can't misuse it. Even if it's to correct yourself. Lance can show you what not to do. Like, you can't go around just finding reasons to hate and be mad at shit. Like, you know what? You right. And other people seeing how Lance get treated is gonna let them stay in that fucking chat and not hit that link.
Yeah, like a nigga Lance would be like, when you doing your own research and you come up on something, thinking about that nigga is the reason why you say, let me fact check that 5 times.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That's good motivation to have cats like that around. You see?
It's like it's like niggas forgot about the cross reference, right? Like, when forget you supposed to cross reference your information. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Madon say something and Suave say something, I can gather the contrast that, hold on, these niggas don't be agreeing with each other just for the sake of agreeing for nothing. You feel me? So it must be true. But if you can't go to 2 different groups that don't have no reason to agree with each other than it's just the fucking truth, then, bro, you ain't really doing no research. You just going with some echo chamber shit.
Right.
He's not vetting his information. What it is he's taking he's defamating on the intelligence of this league. There's a lot of intelligent people in this league. And so to come and just start making up stuff and running with goofy stuff that you ain't vet, it's like, yo,
but
honestly,
actually giving us an alley-oop to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I think his information be good.
The majority of the information that we debunking these past seasons. You know what I'm saying?
I think his information be good, but when Lance messes up, like when he showed they built the Capitol building and all these buildings on top of ancient structures. Okay, he got a point. But when he said, now the Giants built it, that's where he lose me at.
Right, like you said, when he started adding to the shit, like
he just deal with the information that he information be good, and then he just put all these. Oh well, these Giants built it, and
like Suave said, he committed to the lie.
Yeah, with the Germany shit, like, come on, bro. Like, it's one thing.
It's damn near on. He's almost on Rabbi Lewis level, bro.
Man, Rabbi Lewis, Bishop Elliott, no. But nah.
I ain't paying attention to Rabbi. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't paying attention to Rabbi.
But I say that about Lance to say this to my man on the panel, the news channel Root Words One.
Shout out to Bishop Eliyahu,
bro. Like, shout out to Bishop Eliyahu. Yeah, bro. Like you see how like my man, like this cat, he's on the panel all the time. He's sharing his information. I don't think the information you brought out today is nowhere near, you see what I'm saying, off the wall or crazy than what he be doing. So, like, like we ain't gonna we don't kick Suave don't kick people out. Well, Suave have kicked me off the panel a few times, but that's because we got on some persons. But it wasn't about the information.
Only after I consider you a friend.
Right, it wasn't about information. We
I only kick off friends. Everybody else, like, I only kick you out because you're a friend. Anybody else, I'm gonna keep you on here and I'm gonna get
like, man, we can't let you go down with
I'm
that
gonna
kind
take
of
it too far with you. You know what I'm saying? So I've not just kicked people off. I've ended the live. I kicked us all off.
Right. That nigga that ended the live from mine.
Started new. Like ain't nothing.
But I appreciate the brother coming with his information, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Like, for real.
Like coming with his information, and like
we appreciate his existence too.
Because that's why I say sometimes too on the panels we got to remember. Sometimes we only need that one question to open up everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, Suave led off with a great question. We got to remember to stick to the question and not get distracted with the deflections.
Yeah. Some of the talking points.
Because then you see after the original questions is addressed, then a bit of dialogue happens organically. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It just happens organically. So sometimes like we got to learn to listen for the question because I heard him say like, y'all monkey. I could be on that for 2 days,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Just roasting him, but I still didn't. After all that, I still didn't know what he believed. You see what I'm saying? I still didn't know, like what he was coming from. But then Dazali came with some good questions. Then y'all started coming with good questions and everything. Like sometimes you gotta let the conversation develop. And Suave say this all the time. You gotta let the conversation unfold. You see what I'm saying? And not follow the rabbit holes. You see what I'm saying? Like with Lance, we expect many rabbit holes. You know what I'm saying? Like you already know that's what you're going into with that when once he get done. You expect to go down the rabbit hole like every time. But like my man here, like I appreciate the conversation. We don't get many, Moorish Aboriginals on this platform.
Moorish Aboriginal too.
Exactly. So that's for me. That's refreshing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I know he ain't just talking by himself. There's somebody else out there like, you know what I'm saying? That he talking to. He got homies. You know what I'm saying? So, let's have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, like that's how we're going to attract more debaters too. Because they already know the moment they hop on this panel, you got to come with guns blazing. That's how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? We just got to let them talk before you shoot.
Yeah, I'm about to blow him, boy. G Money style.
Talking about. But yeah, I wanted to, I wanted to hear that because I have Indian in my family, but my great grandfather on my father's side, they from Gabon, they Gabonese.
Right.
But on my mother's side, my great grandmother, she was a Chippewa. Like the slave master gave my great grandmother to my grandfather, who was a slave as a wife. Right? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Nah, I know what you mean. The way they were treated.
So that's on my mother's side. Right. So and so my mother's side, like they Creole for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we from Louisiana. Like my great grandmother's name was they name is Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's that French Canadian Indians. You know what I'm saying? Like that's them people over there. So that's my family.
And you know what else too though? I be feeling like them people that came together in them times, just like, you know, we always talk about Black unity, right? And I feel like a lot of times the inside joke with that is Black people over here that was, I mean, like, well, I feel any Black person over here had to deal with some type of intermixing at some point in their family tree. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about, you know, they want you to worry about the intermixing with the cracker. But what I'm talking about is the intermixing of the tribes, because we was having tribal wars on the homeland as well as here. We was having tribal wars, you feel me? That was allowing for us to have issues amongst each other with the tribes just meant that you're further removed in the family enough to there's a distinction within your family. But we all one big ass family. So y'all writing them last name would separate them and make them a different tribe than my tribe. But we all one big ass family. That was the understanding. So the concepts that I'm lost with when people like they say these things like remember he was saying something about the fort and it was Fort Negro, and I'm like, man, hold on, that's Black. Like, and then you asking about culture. Culture is African. You feel me? Everybody was coming into Africa. Well, you pick any one of these so-called countries, they spread it out into after colonization. You pick whatever country that's holding on to certain cultures for the environment in which they live, they still have those traces no matter where they spread out to. So when I look at the people over here that intermixed over time, even after slavery, I started to be like, man, hold on, bro. Do these people really like, you know how sometimes you go out to the store and you be like, man, I don't know why I went to that store, but then you go to the store and you run into somebody that, like, hold on, I'm glad I met this person. What's the reason for that? And so when I think about this whole people acting like they didn't intermix so much so to where we the ultimate African, you feel me? So why we talking about Black unity all the time is because the slave masters was breeding different Africans together, whether you talking about the Indians that was here, the people that we call Indians, which even that's a misnomer. You feel me? These people traveled from somewhere to come here. So even with that, the people that was mixing us together, they didn't see too much difference in us. And they ain't talking about no, you know, trying to be racial, just, oh man, I don't see nothing different about you. Y'all look the same. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that it wasn't hard to breed us. Because you couldn't just breed anybody with anybody back then, because we didn't have hospitals to where you could force that birth to go through. Because see, one thing about the body, it'll reject shit that ain't like it. Because that's a foreign object in the body. So it wasn't like you could just have a baby with another group of people. It wasn't that easy without that person being super sick or probably dying as an infant. So long story short, when people get to talking about this, oh, we not African, I'm not African, like that's just a disdain that they have for all of the things that they go on to say, like, oh, I'm not no weak ass African. The oldest warrior class that you ever hear about is from Africa. The styles of fighting, all of that shit comes from that land. The oldest findings of it anyway.
You know what, Goldmine? When you just said that made me think about something else. It made me think about what I call hot button words. You know, it's funny how people, you know, when we be having these conversations, people know how to push those buttons with
they
certain
know what
words.
Hurt them, Desiree.
You know what I'm saying?
They want to hit us with the shit that hurt their feelings.
When you just said weak ass African, that kind of like stirs something and you're like, hold on, wait a minute, you know. I jumped on the damn live then. I like, what the You know, and I just noticed how people use those hot button words. But like the brother said, and perhaps I didn't hear it, he felt like he was attacked first.
Hell no.
I don't know.
Hell
Maybe
no.
I didn't hear that.
The thing about it, Dizali, these Portuguese and Spaniards, they call Africans by their tribal names. Like whether you from Sierra Leone, Nigeria, and all that. It wasn't until he got over here he started using the word Negro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I think that's where, to me,
the confusion comes in.
Difference, the confusion and the difference is set because here we're seeing through history, right, through a lot of the writings, they're not calling Africans Negroes. They call them by their tribal name or the country that they dwelling in.
Right, empire.
My studies only over here is when we see them start to use the word Negro.
Really, honestly,
that too.
A lot of the literature was rewrote in the English, and they started flipping that. Instead of saying this tribe and this tribe, they say the blacks or the Negro. When they converted that shit from the indigenous language to the what's the name, and then destroyed the original, they was purposely updated the vernacular to
I can ride with
that.
that.
But Madonna, I don't even think they're really calling them by their tribes. To be honest with you, I think that's more of a dialect that they speak, because my research, the Yoruba, there's so many different clans of Yoruba, just like there's so many different clans of Bamaliki. So it's more like Bamaliki is more of a dialect that they speak, because you got like a Basa tribe or clan within the Bamaliki. So that's more of the dialect that they be speaking. It's not necessarily the tribe.
Hey, Yoganah. Now, to me, you know what
I was just saying, like, from a lot of the research papers I went through, like, if they got slaves from, like, the Congo, they would just call them, you know, Congolese or these Congo slaves or from wherever. You see what I'm saying? They would give them that title. You know, and sometimes if they had a tribe, they would mention a certain tribe. But
what was you gonna say, Goma?
I was just gonna say, you know how we, like, some of us get to, you know, getting hot on a certain topic, and nigga be like, talk your shit. So it's almost like they labeled them motherfuckers based on the shit they was talking. Like, man, these motherfuckers be sitting over there talking about catching fish all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, it's almost like they gave them nicknames and shit, because they didn't really know.
Yeah, it's like the Spanish. You say, oh, he's Spanish, but then, you know, you got different clans of Spanish. You got Cuban, you got Puerto Rican, you got Mexican, you got Honduras.
They all speak Spanish, but they use it a different way. Just like we speak English along with a whole bunch of motherfuckers, but the way we use our English vernacular is totally different. You feel me? To the point, it's almost a language within itself.
Yeah, that's why they said the victors of war control the narrative.
To an extent, if you read a book.
Because, you know, the British and the Spaniard, you know, up until the almost up until the 1800s, they owned so much land over here. But since the English, you know, whooped their asses and pretty much kicked them out, English became the predominant language, you know. If the British would have won, we would have all been probably speaking French.
Nah, probably Spanish.
I think it would have been a mixture of both, though. Like, because, like, as y'all brought up, y'all alluded to some recently, the connection between the French and the Spanish. Like, I've taken French and I took Spanish before. You feel me? That shit is eerily similar. You know what I'm saying? So it's a language continuum definitely going on within the language.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is kind of like they did during the unholy Roman Catholic Church. During a period of time, all literature, school writing, anything you wanted to learn, it had to be Latin. You couldn't write nothing, no textbook or nothing, no other language. That's what I'm saying. The English pretty much did the same thing, in my humble opinion.
You know, we really speaking German, a type of German language.
I wouldn't doubt it.
No, that's what it is. English is like a part of it's a Germanic language.
That's why I was saying, like, a language continuum, because if you pay attention to, you know, language in general, you see so many different words used from this language to that language, you know what I'm saying? So With that being said, like that's why I said I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, we're speaking a mishmash of several different several different languages. You know, with I think Latin is supposed to be like the damn base or something that the rest of those languages came out of. But you know, something that'll be interesting to damn look up if you really want to get a peek behind the damn curtain. Look at things such as, you know, like y'all were just saying, where these languages come from, and then you have to apply your own logic and be like, well, how long does it take to create a language? You know, how long does it take for someone to, you know, stop speaking Latin and it transforms into something else, you know. But yeah, that's something that
not just that, Desati, like, you know, we kind of understand with the concepts of man, you feel me? Like as certain groups come along, like certain people only have a recorded history that only go back a certain period of time. So it's like it would only suffice to say that this group of people learned language from this group of people. What I be trying to find is the connection between like Bantu languages and some of the older languages to what we speak today.
Yes.
And I see it within that Latin and the French. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit be like, oh, like my daughter messed up and we was looking at different translations on the Google, and she put in Zulu while I was doing my French words. Like somehow she switched the language to Zulu, and I seen that word. I can't remember the exact word right now, but I'll get back to you on it. But it was one of the words within the French that matched up with some Zulu shit, and I'm like, hold up. Like, man, hold up.
Oh yeah. There are plenty of words all across platforms. There are plenty of words.
But it's no different than what we do. If I hear one of y'all say some slick shit, I'd be like, man, you know what, bro? I like that. I'm gonna have to use that. You feel me?
Right. So see if you can dig up the word for sellout.
You on mute, Malak.
The problem with the Zulu Nation
friends
is they were willing to help those white farmers get that land back and fight black people helping those white farmers.
Wow.
That's my issue with the Zulu. And my issue with them weak ass Africans overall.
Oh, that's my little Bible.
Weak and broken. Broken Africans.
So you sent your cousin on here first.
Like, it's fucking pathetic.
You sent your cousin on here first.
Huh? Say what now?
You sent your cousin on here first.
Doing what? What's him up?
You ain't hear the brother that was on here before you?
No, I heard y'all talking about it, but
yeah, you sent your cousin in here.
Nah, I wasn't here.
Nah, Taz is over there getting gangster on the channel.
Been around for a while.
Yeah,
Taz over there doing what?
Yeah, I know him from.
I was doing a call in and stuff, bro.
Yeah, I saw it. Hey, man, you getting gangster too, dog. I like, damn.
Nah.
Hey, yeah, you did. Call that nigga a fuck nigga and all that. Yeah, hey, I heard you, nigga.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't consider that though.
Hey, was that your old lady? Hey, who was that? Was that your old lady getting rowdy? Or was another chick?
Probably. Yeah, she jumped on there for a second.
Yeah, they didn't like that. Hey, when they got on that girl that called into the show, the one that dropped out of the 9th grade, they was talking about that, yo. I could tell the ladies. I think you had 2 ladies on the panel, your wife and another lady. They took that to heart. When I'm talking about,
yeah, because I never seen that episode, but yeah, that was my wife on there.
Yeah, I saw it. He did tell the lady to give up custody of her kids and stuff like that. He was trying to say she was unfit for a mother.
That's crazy. I ain't hear it though. I don't like watching that type shit, bro. I don't even like watching that type shit.
But see, this is the thing, and like I like Kevin Samuels, but like you saying, hold up. There's some things with I don't agree about. But Taz makes a good point when I listen to his show. He's like, I've known Kevin Samuels for years, so he's had dealings with Kevin Samuels. So Taz has a reason why he feels the reason he do. I'm just a new person coming in, so I'm just seeing a couple of months of this dude. I don't really know this dude, but Taz actually, he's dealt with this dude, so he knows the dude better than me. So I understand why Taz feels and see things the way he see things. And that's what he was trying to tell that's what he was trying to tell some of his callers today. He was like, look, y'all just clicking in on this dude. I know this dude. I know how he originally started. I know what he was talking about. He switched up. So Taz knows that. So I'm not arguing with a person who makes these statements, and you know, he probably got videos to back up what he's saying.
We finna start pulling out old stuff.
Kevin Samuels did switch up, but soon as you go in, I'm gonna do the big up Kevin Samuels show, nigga.
Yeah, I'm your ass too.
And I'm gonna gut you. Goddamn.
This nigga, I'm gonna go through. Still mad that he lost and don't know how to take the motherfucking.
I'm gonna go to and fillet you.
Hey man, why y'all niggas always talking this wild extra over the top shit? You got niggas out here talking about pressure cookers and filleting niggas and shit.
See, hold up. My pressure cooker that's how you make certain. See, this is the thing. That's how you make certain things. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of a grenade, you can take certain things like a pressure cooker and put certain things in it to make it do what you want a grenade.
The best I can describe it, bro, is Yahweh, bro. The God of unnecessary destruction. They just don't fuck with nobody.
Hey, watch out.
They can't enslave
everything is necessary.
If they can't enslave
you, bro. We bangers, bro.
I see. Watch your mouth when you're addressing the Most High.
Hey, I'm addressing
you. What, Blue on here?
Yeah, we ain't addressing me. Because I ain't did nothing unnecessary. Everything I did was necessary.
First of all, you didn't have to button that button all the way up to the top. Unbutton that top
It's necessary. It's necessary.
That's a little unnecessary.
Come on, man. Unbutton that thing, man. Loosen up, bro.
And no, I didn't remember.
Bro, you was
that's it's made there. So you can button it all the way up.
Nigga, like a skeptical priest, nigga. This nigga weird shit.
Yeah, I know why.
Why your baby be telling you calm down all the time? You be snapping at the crib, bro?
No, Blue just used to get checked at the crib, but she learned it.
All my life, she practicing. She's second up.
Man, what you drinking, Blue? What's up with that?
What you mean, what's up with
that? That nigga got the Remy Martin. I know what that is.
That nigga drinking
I bet you do. So drunk ass.
Damn, I can't believe
hey, nigga, watch out. Hey, go mine, nigga. Watch your mouth when you talking to
that nigga. Alcohol.
Next time you talk, nigga, raise your hand. Raise your hand.
You can get up and get drunk and all of that shit. I might as well be following the Most High too.
Hey, Ty.
Hey, Ty. He the Most High. He the highest nigga in the room, Ty.
Oh shit.
The highest nigga in the room.
What's good, man?
Hey, man. Like, I didn't know you was a feminist.
What do you mean?
I didn't know you was a feminist.
What the fuck?
Well, it depends on what definition you're going by. If you ask me would I advocate for the rights of women, I would.
No, that's called human rights.
No. Feminism is advocating for women's rights.
No, let's see. Okay, when you say women's rights, what rights are they asking for?
Okay, so that would be based on the question that they're asking. So in the example of, let's say, equal wages, where women still don't make equal to what a white man. You know what I'm saying? Those types of things.
Well, a black man doesn't make equal to what a white man equal to. So what do we call that?
Right, I support that too.
So what do we call that though?
What the fuck you want to call it?
So that's what I said. Like, I didn't know you was a feminist. If that's the only argument you got, that's a weak argument.
All right, okay, so I don't know what you're basing your argument on, but if you want to debate me on if it would be bad to be a feminist, I'll cook your ass like I did the first time.
Well, you didn't see it the first time. I came back raw off the debate out of the debate.
You lost, nigga.
Nigga, you got
fuck up.
You got a layup, nigga. They gave you a 2-point layup, nigga.
But listen, in reality though,
and that's the best you can do.
But this is my problem with what you're saying, though, because I recognize that there's a toxic level of feminism, and I don't support that. You know what I'm saying? There's a toxic level of feminism. Not
So you're more like on the first wave of feminism and not the fourth wave of feminism. Because
the first wave was white women,
because a lot of some of your constituents is on that fourth wave of feminism shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Based on what we see in our community, I don't blame them.
Yeah, based on their rhetoric.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, again, we ain't putting the right product out on the street for me to say we in position to say, you know,
feminism talk right there. See, that's that fourth wave of feminism talk when you say we ain't putting the right product out there, man.
We not.
You know what I'm saying?
A nigga just got shot up in a parking garage yesterday, and that's the only thing black men talking about. Don't nobody talk about the amount of kids that get murdered, kidnapped, sexually abused, or nothing like that. Until we get out of this entertainment.
Are you talking to every black man, bro?
That's not.
Are you talking to every black man, though? Do you know every black man is having that conversation?
Oh, well, again, I'm using social media as a marker.
Right, you using feminist talking points.
No, I'm using social media as a marker.
No, you're using feminist talking points because who's driving their social media? More women drive social media than men do.
Who's doing the fucking shooting?
What do you mean who's doing the fucking? Who's raising them badass shooters?
We can set that up.
Who raising them hard ass kids?
Let's set it up.
They out here telling you they don't need a man to help them raise their child.
Yeah,
they ain't got no goddamn control over them kids.
Bro, I don't blame women like y'all do.
I'm not blaming anybody.
Oh yeah, I don't blame women.
Where do you get blamed from? I'm not blaming anybody.
Once you start talking about
all kids are hard-headed until you teach them.
I'm spitting the fact. Exactly.
When you start talking about who raised them, evidently some man didn't raise them. If a man didn't raise them,
no. See, we can't do it. You blaming me. There you go. Now you blaming me. Now you blaming me.
Bro.
No, he's not. He's holding the men accountable. He's not blaming the men. He's holding the men accountable. He's holding the men accountable.
Yeah. Is that a woman? Is that a female?
Yeah, that's goddess.
On my life, Melanie got just walked up in your face.
Okay.
In
your
face. I mean, that's what you based it on. You based it on stuff you saw on my channel.
You can't hold. Watch this. If you
he's holding the men accountable. What you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is you're trying to only hold the blame on the woman. What he's doing,
I'm not doing that.
No, listen. What he's doing is saying that women are yes, women. Taz and Melanated Goddess are saying that women are not doing the best job at raising black men. However, what we can't do is we can't eliminate to say that the absence of the man also has a contributing factor. And what he's saying is like, don't eliminate that the absence of the man doesn't have an effect, right? So if you're going to say the woman ain't doing the job, what you also need to do is you also need to include that absent father. Include his ass.
But this
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that, y'all.
Actually, I don't have to include that, and I'll tell you why.
Why not?
Because my actions, right, doesn't
your actions. You're personalizing it. You're personalizing it.
I'm talking about as a man, right?
Your actions. I'm not talking. No. Cause see, I'm not one of them boom chica freedom right? So you can't personalize it. You're personalizing it, y'all.
Pause.
I'm just using myself as an example.
Hold on.
Why? You're personalizing it.
Hold on. Listen. He asked Taz. Let's watch this. He asked Taz. He said, he told Taz, I didn't know you was a feminist. Taz said, what you mean? He said, I didn't know you was a feminist. He said, well, if you're talking about getting women's rights, I am. He said, like what? He said, like women get paid less than the white man. Y'all said, so does the black man. Now there's a word for when the woman, so that went straight from racism.
Right.
Directly. Nobody was divided. We both agreed. You need to be paid more as the white man. And guess what? I need to be paid more as much as the white man. But there's a movement to pull away from that unity, that unificational grab, of equalness with the white man and says the women, they need to come on and be, fuck the men. What the fuck? They ain't even raising that kid. This when you get all this shit. This when you get all this shit.
Well, I can tell. So as a woman, can I? As a woman, can I? As a woman, I'm not offended. I'm not offended.
Okay, hold on.
I don't think you are, Moderator Dallas. I don't think you are.
Now we already know, and I know people probably got
you have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Hold on, okay, that's cool.
You have no
I know
fucking idea.
Hold on. And then y'all could prove me wrong. We already know that they took the men out of the house. Then it's
we don't know that.
No, they didn't. No, I don't.
Okay, hold on. Let's debate that shit with you. Let's make it through the statement.
Here it goes the crazy ass.
Let's make
I
it
live
through
in
the
the suburbs, but I ain't go up in the suburbs. And I ain't seen nobody get put out of their house.
Melanated goddess. You have to put your phone in your ear so you can hear me when I'm telling you. Let me get the floor.
Okay, go ahead, brother. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm sorry, brother.
So we know that whether you got talking points against it or not, the removal of the man from the house and then the fight for the black woman to be equal for the white man, which they won't be, but guess what they will be? Greater than the black man in that pay.
There was never a fight for black women to be equal alone.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chad. Let me finish.
When he asked
I've already debunked all that shit.
I'm saying that's what he does.
I'm talking to some remedial ass niggas who want to step up.
Let's get to the information, bro. Let him
Listen, all of y'all.
To get your dusty ass in the ring.
So like
I didn't say that. I'm not
he already proved that.
But listen, so listen. Okay, listen. Let me just say for my remedial, I'm a non-debater, I'm non-participant, all that kind of stuff, right? What I would like to say is that I do not speak as a person who grew up in a suburb. I do not speak as a person who is not in the know of what goes on in the hood or the urban or the public assistance or the project or whatever type of environment you want to call it in these United States of America, right? What I do know is that the black man is not pushed out of the household. That is a freaking myth that black men tell themselves to make them feel more comfortable. Right? I know that sounds... Listen. Hold on. Listen. Wait, hold on. Who's saying that? Who's that? Is that Madonna? Is that Madonna? Hold on. Let me just say this.
Solomon. That's not Madonna.
That's Solomon. Okay. Solomon. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me finish.
See, the problem is that goddamn black woman chasing the damn man out the goddamn house. That's what the problem is. Let me get into this whole thing. Yeah.
Solomon. Let me finish my sentence. Okay, you're supposed to be the host of this. Let me at least finish so you understand my
channel. No, I'm a regular motherfucker just like you. This is my boss channel. You can mute me out of everything. I'm a regular motherfucker on this bitch.
Lead by example, Solomon, lead by example, brother. Please and thank you.
It's the black woman and niggas like Taz. Taz over here being Jody and shit.
Listen, but let me just finish. Listen.
Okay, go ahead.
But I'm trying.
No. Let me say. I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all go.
Go ahead.
The biggest, thing that affected the mind of black women was Keith Sweat, Babyface, and Taz. And Jody. They sell them these They sell them these pipe dreams. They make everything good. They never agree with whatever they say. All the time. They good all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's Babyface, Keith Sweat, and Taz.
Keith Sweat, boy, and Babyface. Babyface got it for real.
That's good company, Taz. That's good company, Taz.
So when it comes to like public assistance, right? What my experience as a person growing up in the hood, right, in the 90s and in the 80s, right, is that people who had a child who procreated found ways to circumvent the system. The system, you want to call it the man back in the day, right? You want to call it the white man, the government, whatever. They found ways to circumvent the system, and what one of the ways is that the woman agreed not to put the baby's name in the man's last name so that she could get a public assistance. That didn't mean he didn't live in the home. That didn't mean he wasn't a father. That mean he wasn't there. That meant that they, instead of paying $900 a month, they paid $200 a month. Right? Many in the hood, in my hood, in New York City, many people agreed to that type of dynamic.
But was it
where
with the original,
home?
was it with the original father?
Absolutely, yes, the father of the child. He said, I'm not going to sign a birth certificate. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be in the hospital. Woo, woo, woo. That's my baby. We taking pictures. Woo, woo, it's my baby. I'm not signing no birth certificate. You could tell public assistant, you don't know who the father is. It's going to take how many months for them to search for me, right? And, to give them a fake last name or tell me you ain't know my last name. You got pregnant on a one-night stand. Whatever the bullshit is that she tells public assistants, right? She don't know who her baby daddy is. She getting housing. She getting food stamps. She getting WIC. She getting all that shit.
She getting.
Right?
She getting.
Right?
She getting.
Of course, but he is benefiting. No, she's getting it under her name.
How is he
benefiting
from welfare?
Hold on. She's getting it under her name. Where is he resting his head? Where he resting his head? He resting his head in the same fucking house that his kids got. What are you talking about? You know how many people I know that raise their families under this dynamic?
I guarantee
kids don't got their last name. You know how many men I know their kids don't got their last name?
I guarantee you.
What the fuck, Solar? I don't know where you from. I don't know where you from. I don't know where you from, but
like that, bro. You don't got no one.
You about 40.
One generation. Give me a generation of people born and had kids in the project that use that system. You won't be able to give me.
Mad at them. My generation, probably the year before, the year after, and probably like who the fuck right now, right? Is gonna give up? Who's giving up that money right now? Who's saying? Listen. Who right now? Who right now? Where you still got TANF, you still got public housing, you still got food stamps. Who the fuck is saying my baby father is Kevin Johnson?
You started this shit, Madonna.
Why the fuck would I tell you my baby father was Kevin Johnson when I could still get all of this money? You go find who the fuck my baby father is.
Okay.
You go find him. Why would I tell you who he is? Why?
I think that's taking a lot of.
This from the food stamp doctrine, Squad.
I'm trying to tell you, right? So when we're talking about our lower echelon, who's living in public housing, who's getting food stamps and public assistance, and they TANF, they benefit. They not giving that shit up, and I'm trying to tell you.
I agree with you, Melanated.
They not doing that shit.
But there's a reason for that, though.
Right.
And that's
I'm just saying that what we're saying is that the man was pushed out the house. And I'm saying he not trying to pay that rent. He was trying to pay it.
But you're really proving my point. And if Chaz get in the ring, I will teach him why that is and why you saw that. I will show it. I will lay it out. Like I'm gonna lay out his Sunday clothes.
So check this out.
Wait. I got a question. I got a question for you. Wait. I got a question for y'all. Are you saying that if there was a father involved, right? Let's say you got Keisha. Keisha got pregnant by Tyrone.
That's the wrong
right? They had little Ray.
Mm-hmm.
So Keisha, before Ray was born, she was awarded public housing. And because of her income, she was awarded to pay $50 a month in rent.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that because she got a man named Tyrone, she should be able to pay? Tyrone should pay $500 a month while she's pregnant for this place because little Ray is on the way. Little Ray gets there. He's paying, Keisha and Tyrone together are paying $500 a month. You're saying that that's acceptable, and what you are saying is that you don't see the science or the understanding of why Keisha would say, if her last name is Smith and Tyrone's last name is Johnson, the baby's last name is gonna be born as Smith. She gonna say she don't know who the fuck the father is, and she gonna pay $50 instead of $500. Are you saying you understand why that's happening?
Yes, I'm telling you, I understand exactly why that's happening, and I can show it to you, and I can show it to you in legislation, in legal legislation, why that's happening.
So here's what me and you are having a discrepancy at. So can you tell me what year Black women began to receive aid from the federal government under the ABC program?
Not under the ABC program, because it goes back farther than that. We have to go back to the Vietnam era, when Black men came back from Vietnam. That's when we have to really start looking at it.
No.
Hold on.
Dude, we're not even in Vietnam.
Listen.
62. No, 1962. You're not even in Vietnam yet.
I know. I'm telling you, what we have to see, the ABC program was because Black men in Vietnam, and not just Black men, but they were going off to the war. The war was just getting started, just getting kicked up. So I'm telling you, and that was part of Lyndon B. Johnson's New Deal.
No, man.
Correct. No. So hold on, it was a part of his war on poverty. Yes, it was, bro.
Hey, fam, check me out, bro.
Hold on. I'm gonna help you, Taz.
I think you're confused on the argument here.
I'm
talking about was established under the 1935 Social Security Act.
That's the part that came, bro. See, no. See, this is where you're wrong in your argument.
Okay,
No,
do you even know what you're attempting to debate?
Bro, you're wrong in your argument. See, your methodology is all wrong. And you started in 1930.
Black women start receiving the aid because nobody would have got kicked out until they got aid. What year was that?
That's not true. And I will prove it to you where you're wrong in that. And this is easy, bro. And I'm really amazed that you don't even know the simplicity.
Father out of the house rule is an aid to families and dependent children program that they implement.
Can I tell you, bro, that in the
you ain't told me nothing.
In the 1960s, in the Moynihan report, in the case for the Negro Americans, listen to me, bro. Listen to me. All right, stop talking. In the Daniel Moynihan report in the 1960s, you're gonna see where he exactly lines out the case for Lyndon B. Johnson. The reason why Black men in America were being pushed out of the homes, that is not being stopped today. He lines it out clearly. Go and read it before you get in this ring with me. Go and read the Moynihan report. The case for the Negro America, and then read.
You're yapping, nigga. I'll do your ass,
bro. And then read Eugene Franklin. Hold on, I'm not done talking. Then read Eugene Franklin report of the same time in the 1960s. Read Eugene Franklin. They will tell you that if there is, and this goes back to the sister's point where she was bringing out and the things that she observed.
Who do you think you are using,
able-bodied man? Hold on, bro. If there's a Black able-bodied man in that home, that woman will not receive food. She will not receive child. She will not receive child.
From who?
From the U.S. government.
Right. And who was running that program?
And the reason why they forced that Black woman to choose that program. Listen, bro.
You can hear this motherfucker right now, but you don't want to listen. Y'all,
the reason why they wanted to, the reason why they needed that made that Black woman choose, they forced her to choose because no Black woman is going to say, I'm not going to feed my kids when they know they weren't giving Black men's jobs. Black men were deliberately being kept out of the workforce. And unemployment among Black men was just as high as it is today in the 1960s. So they told that Black woman, look, we'll give you support, but you can't have that Black man in a home. That's why that sister observed the things that she saw. And you still see it happening today, bro. So I will watch you if you get your monkey ass in the
government agency.
I'm going to tell you, bro, the United States government, bro, the Illinois
fucking welfare of women and children.
Bro, listen to what I'm telling you, bro.
You're talking
about straw man. I'm telling you, that's why, bro.
You're late.
This is what I'm telling you, bro.
You're late.
And because of that ideology, the institution that he identified,
you do a lot of
racism and white
talking, bro. You're
supremacy.
not answering what I asked you.
I don't have to ask you, nigga, because you don't
I
know
know
what
you
you're talking about.
don't. Because somewhere along the line, ain't
Institution of
nobody ever
racism
told
and
you
white
that you are
supremacy that
fucking
was
dealing
outlined
with
in the
me.
Moynihan report, the case for the Negro family,
Bruh,
which
listen,
was first
the
brought out by
Moynihan report
Eugene
was
Franklin in the
contrived.
1960s. They clearly define how
Hey,
you
bro,
got
go
to
get
that
your
point
Bible, man.
as what the
Y'all
system
niggas
was
be out of
bringing
touch
out.
when it
You
comes to this.
already in a body bag, bro. You already in a body bag.
So you ready to set it up for
Already
tomorrow?
in a body bag. You
Can you
zipped
set it up for
yourself
tomorrow?
up when you started talking
Can you
about
set it up for
1930s.
tomorrow?
You zipped yourself up.
Can you set it up for tomorrow?
You can set it up tonight after this debate.
Okay, no problem.
I'm gonna show you,
No
bro.
problem.
Bro, that's easy work for me, bro.
No problem. We'll be right
Easy
back
work.
here on the argument league.
Right back here on the argument league. And I'm gonna show you, bro. Like this is what I'm saying about cats like you whose methodology is poor. Your argument goes left because you have an agenda and you want to push a narrative. I'm only going to show you the facts.
Okay.
You don't need to make nothing up. I don't have to add on to the narrative.
We get our first argument league debate.
Laid, bro. The narrative has already been laid. If you
We'll set the
study
argument league
Martin Luther
up
King,
tonight.
hold on, bro. If you study Dr. King and Lyndon B. Johnson's meetings,
but that shit don't matter, bro.
Lyndon B. Johnson wanted to push on Dr. King. Say, look, I need you to promote this new welfare on poverty agenda I got going on. King said, no, just give us the right to vote first. Let's do that first. And then I'll talk about your war on poverty. But this is why they needed King out the way, because they needed to push that war on poverty agenda. You got to know what your facts are, bro. Don't give me your talking points or your commentary, my nigga. Give me the facts. Don't come with I don't want what you think that make you feel good and that fuzzy feeling in between your toes.
I'll see you tonight. Hopefully you'll be quiet when it's my turn.
To the argument league, bro.
Ooh.
Bring it tonight after the debate, after the post-debate show. Bring your facts. It ain't gonna take me 10 minutes to wash you with that, bro.
All right.
It ain't gonna take me 10. Okay.
Damn.
We'll see. It's right in her observation, but there's a reason for it. I'm gonna lay your clothes out for you, bro, like a Sunday funeral, fam.
All right, bro. You said that last time.
That's all I know. All I know, I don't know all the information that motherfuckers, but I know that welfare was made for white people, not black people.
Facts.
I know that before welfare implemented, we had places to stay. Who was paying that rent? Oh, okay. Now we have a system implemented where assistance is given, but the man can't be there. They're letting you know this. This house is not yours. This is our home. He can't stay here. If they were genuinely trying to build families, they would give assistance to the people who had kids and got married, and they would let them both, because they know how to fucking everywhere else. The man,
they're married.
Huh?
In most places, you can do it married. In most places, if you're married, that's you can get on welfare.
Yeah,
you can get on welfare, but it's going to be greatly reduced.
Yeah,
and you'll
the
still
man,
be well below the poverty line.
They gonna taking effect that the man is part of it at that point. You know what I'm saying?
No, but it should be reduced. It should be reduced. Like this is my whole point about the perspective of it. But it should be if you got two people. Okay, go ahead, brother.
But it'll still be based on his income. So if he has zero income, nothing's going to change. It happens all the time. If you don't have no income, nothing will change.
And that's facts what Taz is saying. That's facts what Taz is saying. Let me tell you something. I had a family member. Listen, I had a family member who had a Section 8 voucher. Everyone knows what Section 8 is, right? I had a family member who had a Section 8 voucher. She took the liberty of putting her child's she ended up marrying her child's father, right? She married her child's father. She said, we're not going to be shacking up. We ain't doing this shacking up bullshit no more or whatever. This is after 2 children. The oldest was about 12 or something, 12 or 13 years old. Like, look, we're getting married. Boom. Got married. Did everything legit. They went from paying like $100, $150, $200 a month to fucking like $1,200 a month. But guess what? You got 2 people. They should have been able to afford it. This was based off of, they had to both provide proof of income. They could afford to pay the $1,200. They paid the $1,200. They stayed paying the $1,200. After a year or two, it went to 1,400. Went from 1,400, they said, you know what? We need to save our money. We need to buy a house. After 2 years, both of them being on paying partial rent, right? Because let's say their rent, they was living in like really close to Manhattan. So their rent would have been like, let's say 1,800, and they was paying like
Post-debate show. The pre-debate show for Malak, Minister Howell, has been started. You have to go to the Argument League. It is exclusively on the Argument League. So if you are in the YouTube streets channel chat, you have to go over to the Argument League. I just put the link to the video in there. Peace. See y'all on the other side.
Like the system is not that, oh, the black man can't be there. No, his name was on